Yo, what's going on? What's up, John? Howdy doody, y'all. Good morning, good evening? Good evening? What's up, lady? Dog mama, hello? Y'all want to read some news with me? What's up, Juan? Give it to us. What's the BS for today? Europe strains to give Trump an off-ramp on bombing Iran. Bunch of foreign ministers try to meet up with them and say, yo, dude. They're citing the 2 weeks thing, saying that Trump says people should get less holidays. Yeah, I know. I saw that. On Juneteenth? I wonder what that train of thought was. Surely it wasn't like, damn, I hate Juneteenth. People should have less holidays. Like he's so he's so simple and easy to read. Even MAGA disagrees. I mean, what? The guy who golfs 1 out of every 4 days tells us we need to have less holidays, chat. Every fourth day as president, he's golfing. We need less holidays. I love that. What's up, Quarter? What's up, Seam? So crazy. Chat. What's up,
Hi,
Adriana?
Pickles. I don't know if I don't know if I told you this. I know I did for the LGBTQ thing, but if anyone wants to bring up Adriana Smith or whatever, or about her baby having hydrocephalus, as somebody who has hydrocephalus, bat signal me for that too.
Perfect. That sounds great. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you, Pickles.
I love
Now
you too.
yeet me so I can get ready for work.
Goodbye. I wonder how many holidays we average versus the rest of the world, developed world. That's a good question. That's a good question. Of course, MAGA man, they just brainlessly chant, y'all need to go to work. Every time there's a protest, they're like, oh, they don't have work the next day. Why don't they have jobs? We have less? Yeah. What's up, Jennifer? What's up, Nicole? Sarah, how we doing, y'all? Chat, tap the screen. What are y'all doing here? What are we doing? Tap the screen, baby. Let's read some news, too. This one's making me go cross-eyed. Senate parliamentarian knocks pieces of Trump's mega bill. Trump's agenda run afoul of the bird rule, which is the bird rule is the cap on how much money you can spend in one bill. Must be taken out of the package to allow it to pass a simple majority vote on a special procedural fast track. The parliamentarian ruled against several provisions, other jurisdictions of the Senate committees on banking, environment, public works, and armed services. These include provisions that would place funding cap on Consumer Financial Program or Protection Bureau. It would also have cut 6.4 billion from the agency by reducing its maximum funding to 0% of the Federal Reserve's operating expenses. The funding cut would have eliminated the agency. Wow, they're trying to literally just eliminate the federal the Consumer Federal Protection Bureau or Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Happy solstice, Trish. Did West Virginia get FEMA approval yet for floods? Who knows? Who knows? We'll check it out. Schausel ruled against language cutting 1.4 billion in costs, reducing pay of Federal Reserve staff, cutting 293 million by reducing Office of Financial Research. Sorry. Chat, we're not awake enough for this yet. Yeah, thank you, Krish. Thank you, Trish. My brain does not work early in the morning, y'all. It's probably going to be an hour or two. I'm going to be stumbling over words. So if any Trumpers are feeling brave, this is probably the time to get me slipping up. How far along is the host into their transition? I get it. You're transphobic. That's funny. Because if I were transitioning, I would not be very cool. Haha. Just support the president of the United States. Everything will be fine. Thank you so much for the go pop, or thank you for the seam now. As much as Senate Republicans prefer to throw out the rule book and advance their families lose and billionaires win agenda, there are rules that must be followed, and Democrats are making sure those rules are enforced. It's so sad. It's so sad. That's literally what it is. Families lose, billionaires win. Parliamentary ruled several sections of the bill under the jurisdiction of the Environmental and Public Works Committee also violated the Byrd Rule. She ruled against repeal of funding authorizations in the Inflation Reduction Act and the repeal of Environmental Protection Agency's multi-pollutant emissions, multi-pollutant emissions standard for light-duty and medium-duty vehicles for models years 2027 and later. She also ruled against the provision under the Armed Services Panel jurisdiction that would reduce appropriations to the Department of Defense if spending plans are not submitted on time. These proposals are a reckless and dangerous attack on consumers and would lead to more Americans being tricked and trapped by giant financial institutions and puts the stability of our entire financial system at risk, she said. This is what Republicans want. Trish, thank you for the gifted. Oh my god. Oh my god. Republicans just want an oligarchy. I agree.
Entonces el fin de la detención de 3
Hello.
meses.
Yo, bro, hello. I have a question.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm a Democrat, but huh? No, see, I need it. Yeah, I was gonna say something about the situations with Israel and Iran.
Okay.
So, what do you think? Like, is there like World War III? Is that gonna happen, or what do you think? Like,
I don't. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows that right now, dude. I don't think anyone knows that right now. I don't know. That's a big open question. I wish I could answer it.
Yeah, because Trump, you know, he's saying he's gonna strike Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Cause I used to be in the army, so like my friends are telling me you're ready to get drafted. So man, I don't know. Like it's kind of scary.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, bro. Well, thanks.
No problem. Spencer, why do you say that the CFPB is bad? Doesn't every dollar they spend, we get $4 back as Americans, as consumers? Hello?
Hi, Pickles. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Hey, so we have some files that we need to release. We can't get a hold of NBC or ABC or CBS News. We're hoping that we can find some podcasters that are willing to release these files. They're related to Trump and Epstein.
I can take a
I
look at
can
them.
prove what I tell you is true by going to my profile. You can see what I've posted recently with Trump on the files.
Okay, do you want to message me through Discord?
Yeah, actually, can I get a signal because that's more secure than it would be on Discord? And I see you have a higher following, so if you could get the information out before a war starts, so people know that Trump is on the Epstein files, that'd be great. We've been trying to push this information for about 3 days now, and we haven't gotten very far.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
would you
Yeah,
be able
message
to?
to send me an inbox on my TikTok, and I can do something with you on Signal.
Definitely appreciate it. We know that it's a very touchy subject. You know, they are not records that have been released to the public. But ever since Elon Musk came out and said that Trump is in the Epstein files, it became a big deal. We had to release the files to get the subject off of those files because we're about to go to war and nobody's listening to us. So we just need podcasters to have the files. We have the massage logs. We have Epstein's diary.
Please don't. Okay, I don't want. This is how I get
sorry,
banned.
yep.
So without talking about.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I am sending you a follow right now, so if I could just touch base with you in the messages, and then we can go to a secure server so that I can get those files to you, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Pickles.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I know, chat. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. I'm trying to fix my my fucking capture, guys. Give me a sec too. This is really bugging me. I know to be weary, guys. Don't worry. I know to be weary, and I'm very tech savvy. I don't see anybody pulling a fast one on me. I would just move the duties to another agency. What's up, Sharon? Did she say Signal? Ironically, yes. All right, give me a sec. There we go. All right, thank you, Anonymous. I like Telegram better. Yeah, the internet's. We can do. It doesn't. I use Signal chat, so I'm not too worried. It's fine. I use Signal. I have a Signal. Signal's fine.
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I like how he's less pro-abortion than Harris.
Okay, that's rough. You're pro forced birth.
Well, you can't exactly force birth. It's a natural biological process that would occur. The body will have contractions, whether you want contractions to happen or not, when the baby is ready to be expelled.
Yeah.
Like you can't force, you can't force yourself to age, and develop. Just like the fetus will develop along the
Yeah,
the
but some
weeks of.
people don't want to carry things to term. That's what I'm saying. I don't think a woman should be forced to share their resources and carry a fetus for 9 months against their consent.
So you don't think guardians should keep their dependents safe?
I think it's different because I only value sentient life.
Okay, well, what parts of the brain do you need for sentience?
I think the parts of the brains that connect the brainstem, etc., that develop, I believe, at week 20 to 23.
That wasn't my question. I said, what parts of the brain do you need for sentience?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I know that sentience is around 20 to 23 weeks.
Okay. And so why do you feel like sentience is the type of thing that makes someone worthy of moral consideration?
Because I don't feel like I am causing harm. Something is not experiencing pain or harm or negative feeling if they're not sentient.
Okay, so if someone's under general anesthesia and you decide to grape them, did you harm them?
Yes, because afterwards, the effects of somebody, especially psychologically, would experience pain and harm.
Well, it's a perfect grape. Let's say there's no way to find out, and she didn't know that it happened to her.
You're still exposing them to potential harm, and
But
it's
it's a
also
perfect grape.
it's without
There's no
consent.
evidence.
You're exposing them to potential harm. You could be spreading STDs. You could be taking their virginity. You could be doing all sorts of those things.
So do you know what a hypothetical is?
I do.
Okay, so nothing would happen to her. No STDs. No, she doesn't know. She's unconscious. She's not sentient when she's under general anesthesia. Would it still be permissible for him to grape her?
No. Do you think that somebody in the same sense? I guess I don't know. That's a hard one to say. But if they never woke up, even then I say no. I don't know. That is that's a hard question. I still think this is
It's a hard question if
Yeah.
you should or should not grape someone who's not sentient.
No, it's a hard question saying where spelling out where this is immoral or wrong or why I would be against it. It's hard to.
But so can you answer the question? Is it permissible to grape someone that's not sentient?
No.
Okay. And if okay, let's say someone murdered someone and someone raped somebody, who would you give a harsher sentence to?
The schmurder.
Okay, so you think murder is worse than rape, correct?
Oh, you're conflating sentience and consciousness is what someone just
No,
said in
I'm
chat.
saying, are
I
you
might say that.
saying no? I'm saying is murder worse than rape? Who would you give the harsher sentence?
It's worse. But let's go back. Let's go back.
No, hold up. You said murder is worse than rape. Okay.
It's
So
worse.
if you should not, it's worse, right? So
Yeah.
if you should not grape a non-sentient human, why should you murder a non-sentient human?
I think you're conflating sentience and consciousness.
Okay, we could use the word consciousness. If you should not grape a non-conscious human, why should you
I'm not.
Unalive, a non-conscious human.
I'm not saying that somebody is somebody in a developing fetus is not simply unconscious in the womb. They're not sentient.
Okay, well, we could use not sentient and not conscious.
I don't
If
care
you
about
would not,
consciousness.
yeah, that's fine. If you would not grape a non-sentient and non-conscious human, then why should you skill a non-sentient human?
Can you give me an example of a non-sentient, non-conscious person?
Okay, well, fetuses, right? As an example.
Okay. So you would say
So,
graping a fetus that's unconscious and unsentient? I don't see why consciousness is in this equation at
no,
all.
you're not understanding here. Let me lay out the logic. Premise one, murdering someone, skilling someone is worse than graping someone. Premise two, you should not grape a non-sentient human.
Okay.
Conclusion, you should not
Can you give
skill
me an
a
example?
non-sentient
You just try to tell
human,
me that a human,
which
and
is
I'm
a
just barely,
fetus.
I'm not awake quite yet, but you're trying to conflate consciousness with sentience, and you're saying that somebody under anesthesia would be somebody who's not sentient, and that's not the case.
When you're under general anesthesia, you're not conscious and you're not sentient.
That's not the case. Sentience is definitely there. You're just not
Okay,
conscious.
define sentience. Define sentience.
Here I'll pull out the definition.
Yeah, because you don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This isn't a test of trivial like wits on
I know,
demand.
but the thing is, you're spreading information. You're saying it's people that are under general anesthesia are sentient. So you're spreading misinformation.
The capacity to have subjective
Not only
experiences,
that,
including
you
feeling,
not
sensation,
only
awareness
that, I
of
don't
one's
know.
own existence and surroundings. Its ability
Not
to
only
feel,
that,
perceive, react to stimuli can I guess essentially being a conscious subject of experience.
okay.
Sentience is
So when
often
you're under
associated with
general
consciousness and the
anesthesia,
capacity to
when you're under
experience.
general anesthesia, do you meet
Okay.
those conditions?
Okay. You might be right. With sentience is often associated with consciousness and the capacity to experience things like pleasure, pain, and joy, and distress.
Yeah, you definitely cannot feel pain when they're sawing you open and you're
Okay.
under general anesthesia, right?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So I don't care about conscious or sentience. The fetus meets neither at a certain point.
Would you say that somebody, if they could commit the perfect grape, that it would be okay with you?
Of course not.
Why not?
You're the one who has to argue that it is.
I want to
because
ask you why not.
it aligns with your worldview.
Can I ask you why not?
No, because we both agree that you
I
should
wanna,
not
I want to know why
commit the
you.
perfect grape.
This is my channel. I want to know why you're not. Why you don't? Real quick.
I don't know what there is to argue. We both agree you should not commit grape, even if it's perfect.
Can you just tell me?
This was a question I posed to you because
I don't think you understand your own logic. Then, do you?
Okay, I don't need. We agree that it's not okay to grape, right? Me and you both have this agreement, right? So what is there to argue about?
Do you think that there should be consent when even if somebody's unconscious?
I do not believe in grape.
You don't believe in grape?
Yeah, I don't think you should do that.
Okay.
All right. So again, premise one.
So can my answer be that simple too then? That like I believe abortion is okay.
I'm asking about the part where we disagree on. Okay, so we agree on some things, but we disagree on some things, right? So I'm saying you've already stated that skilling someone is worse than graping someone, and you would not grape a non-sentient human.
Correct.
Why should you be able to skill a non-sentient human?
Because they can't consent.
Why should you be able to skill a non-sentient human?
Because if that human is reliant on someone else's resources, I believe in being able to evict them from your body.
Okay, so are you
Can I
reliant?
ask a quick question?
Are you reliant on other people's resources, host?
Not directly, no.
Okay, so the roof over your head, the microphone that you're using, the food that goes in your mouth. How did you get those things? Or did you produce those things yourself?
I think you're conflating reliance directly on somebody's bodily like autonomy versus me being indirectly reliant on somebody else's resources.
Did someone's body have to pick the crop, the rice that you eat?
Yes, and they consented.
We're talking about blood, oxygen, nutrients that come from my body, not somebody producing something outside of my body. You're getting it all confused. And you're also conflating pre-sentience with temporary suspension of sentience. There's a big difference there. They have not achieved any level of sentience at all yet.
Even in the case of a newborn, they are dependent on somebody.
They're not dependent on my blood. They're not dependent on my uterus.
They are definitely dependent on you. There's something
called,
but with consent.
Sorry, there's something called breastfeeding, right?
Anyone
where
can
your
feed them
internal
formula.
resources are literally sucked out. A third of your ATP to grow this baby and
baby to survive without my breast milk?
A baby cannot survive without their guardian.
Can a baby survive without my breast milk? Answering my question. Please.
It depends on the child. Well, if they have something called FPIES, or if they have a cow milk protein allergy, or if you're in a scenario where there's a shortage of formula, or if you're in another country where nobody is around,
we're not talking about another country. We're not talking about shortages. We're not
okay, well, do you know what a hypothetical is, ma'am?
About the law in this country.
Okay, so you don't care about what happens.
That's up to them to create their own laws. I'm concerned about the laws in my country when I'm voting.
Okay, well, how old are you?
Anyways, when it comes to
look, hold up. I didn't come talk to the host.
And the host invited me to talk. Oh.
All right.
And why does that disqualify her?
What? Yeah. What difference does that make?
Because I didn't come on. The thing is, the host is speaking about a subject that he does.
It's 40 weeks.
Do you know what the first trimester is, host?
Yes, it's 30 days.
No,
I'm sorry, 3 months.
No, that's incorrect, sir.
Okay, then tell me.
All right. So
I'm not trying to regulate these things. Here's the thing.
Do you know what a plan B does?
Here's the thing.
Why are you asking random questions?
I feel like what I need to give people like bodily autonomy. I care enough about women to respect. I know.
Okay, so I'm trying to have a respectful conversation with the host. However, I feel like the person respectful dialogue with the person above me.
Because you can't.
Because you're pleading to authority. I'm a nurse.
I'm not pleading to authority.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, look, I'm here to talk to the host because you know more than the host, which is great.
Abortion
so you have
a
but the host
issue.
I feel like he should probably learn more about the issue.
Ma'am,
that way the next time he speaks about it,
he
can
be more
educated.
You first of all, you brought this up, and whenever this comes up, I invite a woman up to do this. I don't act like I know everything. Okay, so stop trying to trivialize this.
Oh, so you brought this person above me up?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Oh, because you needed backup?
Yeah. Are you shaming me for admitting that I don't know everything?
Look, I'm actually trying to understand your reasoning because obviously you have great influence. Okay, now the way I'm not trying to I'm actually trying to understand. You feel like women should have a choice. is there any scenario where you feel like a woman should not have a choice?
Yes, like for instance, women on my panel that bring this shit up and use it to virtue signal to get authoritarians like brought into office. I feel
Okay,
like,
so
and when people give me $40 to kick them, I get to kick them. And so thank you so much
I'm
to
sorry I got heated.
No, it's okay. Nomad, thank you for the $40 to kick.
It's been a minute, Pickles. I've missed you.
I missed you too.
Uh, I so dislike women who hate other women.
I do too. I'm also not awake enough for this, so thinking on my toes, I feel a little bit off right now.
I can tell. You're
Yeah.
definitely usually different.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Bucket was way out of order. I know. It's good to hear some of these newer, like I haven't heard that scenario before, like the perfect grape scenario. I feel like that's a little different.
There is no way to be sure in advance that you're going to do everything perfectly to not leave evidence. So that's an unreal hypothetical.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
The dogs are seeing people on the sidewalk. I probably should go.
All right. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right. I think it was pretty damning that she couldn't answer why grape was wrong in the instance of her scenario, perfect grape. She wasn't able to articulate that. Even giving her stance. I think it's pretty damning. I was correct on the 3 months. Thank you. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am. I kind of wanted to continue the last conversation, if that works, unless you want to talk about something else.
Oh, God. Sure.
Okay. If you are, let's say you're on a desert island, or not at a desert island, but you're completely by yourself, right? You come across a baby that clearly is going to die relatively quickly if you don't render them aid. Do you have a moral obligation to help the baby?
Do I have a moral obligation to help the baby if it's dying? Yes. I would say it would be the best thing to do. I don't know if you're obligated, but yes. Like, would I get in trouble if I didn't do that?
I think morally, regardless of whether you're getting in trouble or not, yeah, you render aid to any other human being as opposed to letting them.
Yeah, but I feel like this worded in a very like trappy way, right? So
of course.
Like I feel like if you stepped past a person, like MAGA's literally yanking food stamps out of children's mouths, and they will,
right.
1 out of 5 children go to bed hungry every night. So they obviously don't believe this, but I don't think that you should, like, this is not a law that we all abide by, that you should stop and feed a child when it's hungry. No.
Well, no, not just feeding a child because it's hungry. That's why I said in the scenario that if you do not do something, it's reasonable to assume that the child will die, right? And it's not just for a child, right? If there's a 60-year-old man who's like completely physically, capable or whatever, who if I don't help him and I know he's going to die, if I don't help him, I would say that I do have a moral obligation. Assuming that I don't die.
You have a moral obligation, sure, to do what you can within your power, but you do not have an obligation to use your body to sustain that person's life.
Like if the child,
that's all that helping him is, right?
If the child was a vampire and the only thing it needed was like a full pint of blood, and it needed that once a day for 9 months, and you passed it by on the street, and would it be your obligation to siphon blood from your body to that child for 9 months to bring it back to life? Do you think you'd be obligated to?
Well, and even if you have a moral obligation, do you have a legal obligation to do so?
Yeah.
I'm talking about morality. I'm not talking about legality right now. Yeah, I would say that if I was the only person who could donate I mean, I'm trying to find a way to word this. If I'm the only person who could donate this person blood, and I'm not going to die or get maimed in the process of giving them that blood, right? If it's like a reasonable thing that I do, that I'm going to be physically okay after the fact, I would say I do have a moral obligation to give that
You have a
person blood.
moral obligation to do that?
But again, even this is where we get into legality, right? Because we can make our own
No.
determinations and it's going to be murky, right? But we can all make those determinations for ourselves unless we're being legally compelled to do so. And that's more akin to what we're talking about with the AB scenario. Also, you said, oh, if I'm going to be fine and dandy on the other side of it. Well, pregnancy is extremely risky. So there's never a guarantee of that. In fact, there's a high likelihood you're going to suffer complications. So that's why it doesn't apply in this scenario.
Yeah, what if there was a chance, there was like 1 in 100 chance you have problems in 100 different ways, and you're also gonna have to carry this baby in your arms for those 9 months too. Do you think that every person in every scenario should have to do this?
Yeah, so, and I want to bring this back to abortion. So if a woman is pregnant, right, and there's a reasonable chance, like there's a reasonable reason to believe that she is going to die or become seriously injured by giving birth, it is both logically sound that she should probably get an abortion. And also, as far as I'm aware, there is no pro-life legislation on the books in any of the 50 states in America that says if a woman is at risk of death, she has to give birth to.
All right, but this is where it gets really bad though, right? Because like where you guys think this is possible to legislate is in La La Land.
Right.
There are plenty of states where this is the case and people die anyway because no doctor wants to test that line. They do not want to test whether or not they can perform this abortion and explain this to a committee of people and say, hey, this was the right thing to do. I promise you she was at risk of her life, and please don't sue me. Please don't throw me in prison. Nobody wants to do that, so women are just dying because you're putting that that clause in the law.
And exactly, who makes that determination, right? If a woman has had pretty serious past complications arising, like has had hemorrhaging or a uterine rupture in a past delivery, and she doesn't want to go through that again because she feels like there's a high likelihood that she could bleed out and die. But a doctor says, well, we don't know that for sure because we seldom ever do know these things for sure. Who's making that determination? Isn't it best to leave that to doctors and patients to determine?
Not necessarily. No, there should be a legal framework to determine, and I'm not gonna. I'll be the first to say I don't know what this is off the top of my head, but like, no, there should be a reasonable line to say that, yeah, if you're I mean, it's like anything else, right? Like if there's a car that like I think it was the Ford Pinto, I want to say, where if it got hit at a certain angle, the car would just blow up and everyone inside of it would die. And so the government realized that there was a great enough risk of that happening to enough people that car was dangerous enough that it was illegal to sell it in the United States, right? So it's the same thing with abortion, that if you, and again, I don't know what the official kind of line would be, but if there is a line where the mother is at a reasonable risk of...
But there isn't. That's the point. That is exactly the point.
It's impossible to draw that line.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Exactly. And so very often these situations, and they're heart-wrenching situations where the last person you want is your local congressman in the room with you when women are having to make these kinds of decisions. A lot of times it's, well, here's this risk and you have to weigh it against what it is that you want for yourself, your health, and potentially for a fetus too. That's a really hard decision to make, and it's never clear cut. And the whole point is that you cannot legislate these things. There's no way to write it out in a line item way. And it ends up putting women and doctors at risk of legal being and having legal ramifications, which is insane because doctors are there. They've taken a Hippocratic oath to do no harm. So no one's out here just for the fun of it, engaging in ABs. That's just not how it works.
Well, no, it is, because you just said that doctors take the Hippocratic oath, and the vast majority of abortions that take place in the United States are not in what we were just talking about. They're completely voluntary. They're completely elective. So for a doctor to take the Hippocratic oath and then perform an abortion where there isn't a medical necessity to is by definition a violation of the Hippocratic oath.
Undergoing chemotherapy is elective too.
I'm sorry?
undergoing chemotherapy is elective too. All medical procedures are elective. And who are you to know the circumstances in that woman's life or of her health to determine whether it is or is not necessary? That's exactly the whole reason that it should be left up to individuals.
So you understand that in our legal framework, the word reasonable means something, right? Like, for example, having a reasonable expectation of privacy, that's by definition, that is subjective, and that's up to whoever's analyzing what's going on to determine what a reasonable expectation of privacy is, right?
Usually in legal framework, you would also spell out what reasonable means in each of those instances, not just, there's no reasonable, there's no playbook that says what reasonable means anywhere.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying I feel like we're talking in circles. Just like you can say someone has a reasonable expectation of privacy, and then it is up to the judge or the magistrate or whatever to determine if in a specific situation reasonable applies there. The same exact thing can happen to medically necessary abortions, right?
And so how are we going to adjudicate this without...
If I can finish really quick. Excuse me. It's like, I understand it's subjective, and I understand if we did go based off of this, there would be advancements and there would be nuanced understandings of what is and isn't necessary, and that's the whole point, is that you develop that. And I will agree with you that we probably should develop that more, but just because it isn't completely at a point of like 100% perfection, it doesn't mean we just throw it out the window and say, okay, fine, abortion's legal.
Who's the most qualified person in this scenario to make that determination of whether it's necessary or unnecessary? A doctor or your local congressman?
A doctor,
and the patient, critically too.
If a woman is giving birth or is approaching giving birth, it would be her like prenatal care providers, right?
Yes, agree.
Oh wow, not Ted Cruz.
Well, no, and if her prenatal care providers decide that that she should just murder her child, even though there isn't a medical reason for doing it, then Ted Cruz should step in and tell them not to do that. Correct?
Hey, what's the population of this woman's uterus? About 94 million or...
Okay, so here's my question for you. Here's 0%. Here's 0% chance. Here's 0% chance of dying, and here's 100% chance of dying. Where should I draw the line where you're going to say it's okay for a woman to die when they're at risk? Where should I draw that line?
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Why not?
That's a question of medical ethics that people get PhDs in that I'm not qualified to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
There is an amount though, I agree with you.
Wow.
It's between 0 and 100. Like, you can ask people who study medical ethics for a living what that number is.
And on that line of 0 to 100%, what degree of certainty do we have to have that it is that percentage? So say we're 90% sure that it's a 40% chance. Like how, and if two different medical professionals are going to disagree on this, by the way, then how do we determine who's right? And how do we go about adjudicating this in a timely manner?
Yeah, this goes back to what I said about reasonable, and that people who know more about this than any of us do will have a better grasp on this than
I think here's another angle I would like to ask you about. What about consent? What about consent? So like, if somebody walked into your house and I don't know, in Texas, if somebody simply comes to my house and they don't have a weapon or anything, but I deem them a threat, I can pew them right between the eyes, right? Do you think that's wrong?
Do I think it's wrong that if someone enters your house, you're allowed to pew them between the eyes? Depends on the. I'd be a little more lenient than that. I'd say that they have to be posing some sort of threat to you in order for you to do that.
Okay, what if they're just taller than me?
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the circumstance. Like for example, if I'm taller than you.
What if they wanted to come inside and then force an 8-pound bowling ball up my ass? What about that?
Yeah, if they try to do that by force, you should probably do something about it. So,
okay,
yeah,
so but someone coming into a woman's uterus and shoving an 8-pound bowling ball out of it, that's okay with you?
Well, yeah, because we're not talking about a bowling ball. We're talking about a human being.
Okay. I don't care. So, like, I feel like I should be able to defend myself against that, right? Even if it's a human bowling ball?
Even if it's human... If someone...
You're also going to have to establish your premise here that that's a human being, because debatable.
It has a unique DNA code after conception, and as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that happens in the course of pregnancy that would qualify them as a human
Ants
being.
have a unique DNA code.
Yeah, ants aren't human. Ants aren't human.
If the unique DNA code is what you're going by.
Okay, a unique human DNA code. I really didn't think I had to specify that, but there you go.
It's just a mixture of the mothers and the fathers.
Stem cells have a unique human DNA code too.
I feel like you're kind of being intentionally obtuse, but okay.
Yeah,
No.
but that's your qualifier, and we're trying to test your logic.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that there's nothing that happens. So would you again? I'm trying to speak from a place where we can hopefully find some sort of agreement.
No,
would you
we're
agree?
not.
Okay, just hold on for 1 second. Would you agree with me, right, that if a baby is born, I'm not even talking about a C-section or anything, the baby is naturally born, the mother wants it to happen, the doctors want it to happen, everything's kumbaya, great, right? When the baby is born, would you agree with me that that is a human being with the same legal protections as you or me?
Yes.
Once it's born, yes. Once it's independent of the mother's body, yeah.
Okay, what happens from the time of conception up until that point where it metamorphosizes from not a human to a human? Where they
Viability outside
Viability.
of the woman's body.
Yeah. It stands on its own 2 feet, has its own heartbeat.
Okay, so we're talking in circles then, because we said at the beginning of the debate that if there's a baby who has been born, who has like come to term and everything, if they're laying on the sand in the middle of a desert, they're not going to be able to walk over to an oasis and get some water or hunt something and get some food. They need other people
And
to do that for
that
them.
is something also viable and also sitting. It's independent of something else. Yes. It is having it's having brain functions, having experience, and also I don't think I need to go swim to the next. Like right now, there is a baby. Right now, there is a baby somewhere in the world that is dying right now. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Why are you here?
Right.
If there's a baby within the
How
the
close
place
does it
that
have to be?
control over, right? Like in America, for example, I'm sure that there's babies in all sorts of terrible situations in America right now.
Right, Tom.
do,
So why
as
aren't
an
you
Dude, could you please let me finish?
fostering?
Could you
Why
please
are
let
you
me
not
finish a sentence?
fostering
I can't
or
have a
going
conversation
to
if you're just going to interrupt.
pediatric cancer wards and donating all of your money and time there? If this is really about babies, this is where it starts to be in bad faith and disingenuous, in my opinion.
Okay, so if you'd let me finish a sentence, please. The United States government, which is the thing that executes like force and executes what's right and what's wrong in this country by and large, the United States government, which I, as a citizen of the United States, am like a part of, right? The United States government does have an obligation to stop children from suffering, be that from like you said, like pediatric cancer or starvation or not having enough water or not having shelter or whatever. If there's a baby just lying out in the middle of the street in Detroit right now, the government has an obligation to stop it from getting hit by a car. Yes.
Okay. Somebody's definitely responsible for that child at some point in time. Yes, legally. But
We're not
did
talking about legal,
everybody
we're talking
did
about
everybody who passed by that baby on the highway, do they get jailed?
If someone went by the baby on the highway, acknowledged that it was a baby, acknowledged that it was going to die, and acknowledged that they had something they could do in order to stop it from dying, I'd say that they're partly responsible
There
for
are
it.
good Samaritan laws on the books. Okay, fine. But again, we're talking about a human being that is independently viable and is considered a citizen, right? And a human and has personhood. So I just don't understand.
This is also rich coming from any Republicans because they don't
Right.
care about starving kids. But
Right.
I okay, let me
Hold on. You can't just let that. It's better for a child to be born and have a terrible life than not be born in the first place. That's
No,
ridiculous.
that's not. I don't agree. No, because
Really?
because
So wait, hold on.
you're
Would you look
for a lifetime of bad experiences rather than nothing, an absence of that.
So hold on. I just want to ask you a question. So would you look at, and I just want to I want you to pile on all of the stereotypical arguments in favor of right? Their parents don't have a lot of money. They're disabled. They were born premature. All of this stuff, right? Would you look at someone after they've been born and say, "Yeah, your parents just should have killed you, man. Like your life sucks."
I
Would
wouldn't
you
be able.
actually,
I wouldn't say that, but if they, I've heard people say that. Yeah, I've heard people say that themselves. Yes, there are people that literally can go do self-unaliving ethically.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't look at someone.
Well,
in the
that's
eyes.
you. Then don't do that.
Well, no, and also because when we're talking about abortion, right, we're not talking about someone unaliving themselves. We're talking about someone else outside of that person making a deliberate effort to say, yeah, their life is probably not going to be worth living. Yeah, they're probably just better off dead, and then doing it on behalf of them. This isn't someone proactively taking a measure to better their own life. That's not what
Yeah,
we're talking
you're
about.
ending somebody's sentience at that point. You're taking somebody's, like, you're hurting a future person in that instance. And when in the case of you're deleting a fetus, you're not hurting a future person.
You literally are.
Well,
No,
you're
you're
not
not.
taking away someone's personhood, right? So again, you keep acting like this is killing, unaliving a child, and that's a pretty high bar you'd have to establish. But also, you're taking away someone's liberty and autonomy who's already existing as a citizen with rights, and presumably with equal protections. And Pickles knows right now I'm going to go for his kidneys or his vas deferens.
Didn't we
Pickles, what do
already-
you
Didn't we
prefer?
already establish that as part of a society we have an obligation to help people who can't advocate for themselves? Didn't we already like establish that?
People, independent,
Yeah, so
viable.
the word fetus, that's just like a designation for another kind of person. That doesn't make them less of
No,
a
it's
person.
not.
You keep saying that, but that isn't true.
It's not
right?
it is not something that can make decisions. It cannot feel anything. It can't make plans. It doesn't have a birthday. It is nothing. It doesn't have a favorite color. It absolutely is not.
Nothing you just said is a qualifier for personhood. And everything you just said can go for someone who's under general anesthesia,
Independent
who's not going to
viability.
feel if I like shoot them in the head or something.
Independent viability.
One more time, sorry.
Independent viability, not reliant on somebody else's body in order to sustain.
If okay, let me ask you. Let's rephrase this, Tom. If you, for instance, again, if you had somebody, let's say they were, let's just do a grown man again. If they came into your home and they wouldn't leave, should you be able to make them leave?
If a grown man comes in my house, I'm indifferent. I'm not really a big private property kind of guy. So we're talking about legal.
Let me guess. You're pro deportation too.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Hey, all right, Tom, this guy that just wandered into your house is in late stage kidney failure. Are you obligated to give him a kidney, assuming you're a match?
I don't have the stuff around my house to give him a kidney. I'm obligated to call him an ambulance. Yeah, I'm obligated to help.
No, you're a match though. Do you have to go into surgery with him, and you, by law, not just even morally, but by law, do you have to give him a kidney?
By law, no, but again, we're not talking about laws.
Oh, great. Okay, so I think we have finally found some agreement, right? You're talking about something that is morally complex, and difficult concepts like when is ensoulment and when is personhood and all of that. But it sounds like maybe we have an agreement here, which is that morally what one person believes and what they therefore decide to do is distinct from what they are legally obligated to do and what the government can compel them to do.
You understand that morality is what informs laws. Like the whole point of having laws is that they're supposed to mirror our morality. If our laws are completely immoral, then we shouldn't follow those laws.
Should we give the death penalty to people who cheat on their spouses?
I'm indifferent.
Oh my God, dude, you have no backbone, dude. Come on.
No,
we should give the death penalty to people who kill children. If you want to bring it back to the example, absolutely.
It doesn't do anything. I think that again. So this is inconsistent. Like, again, not again, but the death penalty does not deter crime. So you guys are just straight up murderers when you do that.
Do laws deter crime?
Yes.
So what makes the death penalty different insofar as that it doesn't deter crime?
Because you're taking someone's whole life.
Yeah, so they don't commit that crime again. Exactly. The recidivism rate for people who've received the death penalty is 0%.
Okay, but you're also killing innocent people. So 4% or 5% of people on death row are completely innocent. Did you know that? You're killing innocent people.
I didn't. That's right. I mean, you should have some pretty good evidence to put someone on death row, right? Like if there's a video, if there's a video of you like performing an abortion on someone who doesn't need to have an abortion, like yeah, that's probably a pretty good indicator that you've killed a child and you probably should be stopped from doing that. Yeah. Yeah,
but I don't know. Like if you're also responsible solely for carrying that child, it's different. If let's say you're on that same island and that child is, it's a big baby. Let's say it's like 13 pounds and there's like a 2-mile or 5-mile swim to safety. You can either take it with the child or take it alone. And you're just a frail little, say you're like a 6-year-old woman. Should you force that 6-year-old woman to make that swim with the child?
I mean, I'll take the swim myself if that's the opportunity you're talking about. I mean, no, if there's a reasonable, and this goes back to what we were talking about before, right? If there is a reasonable, like, good chance, right, that 6-year-old girl can make the swim, then yeah, absolutely. If I don't think she's going to make the swim, then both her and the baby are going to drown. So that's stupid. No matter
Exactly. That's a perfect analogy for pregnancy, bro. There's a good chance the mother and the child could die.
Yeah.
There's
and
not
you
a
know,
better
the choppiness of the waves, all these other factors you'd have to factor in. And so it sounds to me like, once again, we should be giving this choice to the people concerned and the other people that are trusted advisors and experts on the matter.
No, I agree. And that's why if the experts determine that there is a pretty good chance that the mother is going to die in childbirth, then it is following the Hippocratic Oath, right? It is 100% the obligation of those doctors to terminate that pregnancy, right? What I'm saying is that that's not the case like 99% of the time.
And you know what? Doctors are just straight up fleeing states that are making that the law. So no, it's not working. It's not working. Doctors are just fleeing to the tune of like 20%. Women are also dying.
Women are dying. I was going to say.
Yeah, women, real women, women with life experience, with families, with names, with life experiences, people who will grieve them and have like actual, they'll actually have funerals for these people. Like,
and women who are not sentient, are truly, really and truly brain dead, cannot consent to the situation, have family members who want to make the best decision for them, and, you know, probably with some consideration to the zygote, the fetus, are being forced to continue pregnancies. It's macabre. It's beyond, just beyond all ethics.
I mean, not really, because everything that I have said applies to like elderly people who can't get their own resources, or applies to people with disabilities, or like there's plenty of other people in society besides children who haven't been born yet who this exact same logic applies to. That's my whole point.
But it doesn't, right? Because we just established that in the situation of somebody needing a kidney from you in order to survive, that you, moral is one thing, but that your government should not be able to legally compel you to give part of your own body, give your living tissues to sustain another person's life. You might elect into that. Fine. But there's also no guarantee. You know, what if you do have some hereditary predisposition to kidney disease? So you're saying, hey, it's actually really too risky for me. But they're saying, well, we only estimate a 60% chance that this is going to decrease your life by 10 years. So yes, you have to. You have to. Oh, he's gone. I'm just.
I deleted fetus. Yeah.
I didn't even get to the mandatory vasectomies, but you know, like I said, I either go for the kidneys first or the vas deferens first, and today was a kidney day.
Well, thank you, Gemini. You always do great. Thank you so much.
You're awesome. Thanks. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Chat, if you're friendly, get out of my box. I love you. Bucket, go on, get Bucket. You can't come back till tomorrow. Someone paid to abort you. Someone paid to abort you, Bucket. Get on out. Go on, get. Hello?
Hi, buddy.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am a Trump supporter. How about you?
I am not. By the way,
I know you're not. I've been watching your little videos, and you sound like you're just spewing out some bullshit right out of your ass.
Hey, John. Thank you, everybody, from the Johnny Raid. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to follow the stream if you enjoy.
You gonna wake up, read the Bible?
No. I'm
Have
good.
you done that? Do you read the Bible ever?
No.
You never read the Bible?
No, I'm good.
Maybe that's why you're fueled with so much rage and hatred, little guy.
I don't know, man. It feels like the Christians are angrier than
oh,
us
yeah?
atheists.
Oh yeah. Okay. You gonna poke the bear a little bit?
Yeah.
You're a little dipshit.
That's not nice. But you prove my point.
Why do you not like Trump, huh? You don't like Trump because you think he's a little racist. You think he's this, that, all you liberals, blah, 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 blah.
What do you like about Trump?
Everything. He's done everything to help us, and Biden ain't done shit.
Okay, like what?
So what the hell do you want, little guy?
What do you like about Trump? Guys, that's exactly why you don't drink the bong water. Hello?
Hi, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I just want to say Trump people are just crazy.
You're right.
They're just, you know, insane. Like, they have absolutely no common sense. Like, they just, you know, like, wake up and think, ooh, I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to say this out my fucking ass. And, like, you know, like, oh my God, you know, like seeing the people.
Hello? 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 Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 100K. Guys, we have 1,500 views right now. Johnny, thank you so much for that raid. I love you so much. I'd kiss you right in the fucking mouth. Hello?
Yo, how's it going?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I did vote for Trump. I don't know if I would say I'm a supporter. He just seemed like the best option between the two of them. So that's
All
my
right.
stance.
Why do you like Trump?
I just think his policies are better than Kamala's. I do agree with the immigration policy of sending people back to Mexico who came in illegally. I do think both of them are shitty options. I think right now, a lot of creators like yourself should stop talking about the left and the right and start talking about how we can fix some of the issues on both sides so that we have better options in the future.
I love that. So one of the ways I think we could fix things is getting Trump out of office, and for us to actually have a say in things that go on in this country, instead of having somebody like trying to be an authoritarian, a dictator, somebody who's sending people to prison for the rest of their lives, not just to Mexico, but to prison for like doing something that is usually like a $50 to $250 fine.
Well, he won the election, right? So we do have a say, but I guess I would ask you, what do you think the biggest problem right now in politics is?
Money in politics, people accepting $400 million jets, people manipulating the stock market, people having a meme coin to where foreign adversaries can donate as much money as they want anonymously, and our president could get rich and make decisions based on that.
I completely agree. So I think you're probably more educated than me. I think obviously the two biggest things you'd have to do to get money out of politics are overturn Citizens United and McCutcheon versus FEC. So what is a route that people can take to do that? How would, people be able to go about doing that?
I don't know. We could, after this election, I see a big pendulum swing to the left. Hopefully, maybe we could champion people that would be willing to introduce legislation like that. I don't know, something like that. But I want to go back on this. Like, you like Trump's immigration policy. Let's talk about it.
Sure. I think you can't go anywhere else in the country and cross someone else's border illegally and expect to stay there.
Nobody's asking for that. Nobody's asking for that.
What are they asking for?
Well, Trump is, again, deporting people with no due process to one of the world's worst prisons with no criminal background in either country. These people are there for the rest of their lives. Do you think that's okay?
I don't think it's okay, but I would ask you to make the argument how, with the amount of people that the Democratic Party let in during this last election, do you expect us to get the manpower to be able to give that many people due process? And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just saying it's not something that I think can happen unless you're looking at it over.
This is a lie. This is a big lie. So Trump, shocker, he lied to y'all. He said there's like 20 million people here now. It's not even close. The true number is somewhere between 12 and 13 million people. and most of those people are here from before Trump. Like 10 million of them are from like 15 years ago. So it's literally a non-issue. Trump has to give you guys something to like be worried about, to have an excuse to invoke wartime strategy or wartime law, invasion laws, like most authoritarians do. And even the DHS agrees with us on this. There's like 1.5 million extra people here. That's about it. Biden did such high levels of deportation every single month, more than Trump. So again, it's a lie.
So what do you think the answer right now then would be, to take the Reagan route and just give everyone here amnesty and just call a reset, build a border wall, strengthen our border, and make sure that we solve this problem going forward so we don't have more people coming in? Or how would you solve that? That would be,
I think a
guess,
border wall is a silly answer. It got Trump elected because it fits on a bumper sticker. It like encapsulates people's rage or racism or whatever. They're like, yeah, build a wall. They won't be able to climb over. They already do that. So they have tunnels. They climb over it. They go around it. They're gonna go tinker with it. They're gonna go to Home Depot. They're gonna get ladders. They're gonna fucking take chainsaws to it. It's not going to do anything. There's videos of, I believe there's like a 6-year-old who scales Trump's wall, and it takes her 24 seconds. So it's just a big giant money pit, because we would also maintain it. We would also have to pay for anybody who got injured in the process of climbing it. All of those things. So I think it's a ridiculous thing. Nobody wanted to pass it in his first term. That's probably why. He built 42 or 52 miles of it first time around. So I don't know, it would take a few hundred years for him to finish it if he were to do it. I think it's silly. And also it doesn't fix the issue of asylum seekers. So the wall would have to be built inside of the United States border. So like there's the border, here's Mexico, this would be the wall, right? If somebody crosses this line and puts 1 foot inside US soil, they can go, I claim asylum. Then they would have to get past the wall and then go into the immigration system. Even if they didn't claim asylum, they broke the wall. Then they would have to go past the wall and go to jail.
But isn't the issue that they are going to jail, being released, and then they're just kind of out in the wind and we have no way of knowing where these people go?
Not really. If people go to, if they enter our asylum system, they are doing this thing. Trump is still doing it, catch and release. So instead of putting them in jail and costing taxpayers hundreds of dollars per day to food and house these people, they're better off being inside the country. If they're an asylum seeker, they can get a work permit after 180 days, and then they're contributing their taxpayers. So it's really a non-issue. It's not an issue. Asylum is the legal process.
Do you think the reason that people are taking them in once they're seeking asylum is because they're getting put in private detention centers that are just, making money by holding more people in? Is that the game here that they're playing?
I don't think asylum seekers get put in prison.
Isn't what you just said? They get brought in, like when they seek asylum, we bring them in, we put them in prison, and then we release them? No?
They don't really get in prison. No, they get withheld for like an interview, and then they're pushed out into usually sometimes like sent to a neighborhood.
Vitalo El Pillow super chatted $5. What do you think are the benefits of deporting a lot of people? These people are being rated white working, not committing a crime.
Yeah, again, yeah, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, they're also just contributing members to our society. They help our economy in just about every way. So all of this like deportation shit, it's more about getting people emotional enough to vote. It's not about actually fixing anything.
Sure, but you would agree that them coming in illegally is not okay, right? Like we should probably just give them a better path towards citizenship or towards getting work visas in the U.S.
Yeah, that would be a leftist cause or a left-leaning cause. Every time we try to do that, Republicans, they will not vote on those bills, and they just fall flat. They think they fearmonger and say, "Oh, we're trying to get people to vote Democrat," yada yada yada. So it's just been a broken system for so long because of people perpetuating that propaganda.
Sure, no, I completely agree. I think it's both sides too. I just, I love you creators. I think do such a good job talking to people. It would be so cool to watch all of you guys from left and right sides who are more normal people do things like trying to overturn Citizens United, take money out of politics, try and like get people together to get single issue bills, give these people in Congress term limits. Like, I think that would be such a worthwhile cause. I see so many people debating on TikTok back and forth, never agreeing with each other. And I'm like, I think we all, for the most part, are pretty normal people that want to take money out of politics and make actual changes like this. So,
Agree.
cool. Well, thanks for talking, man. You're a very agreeable person. I do agree with a lot of your points. Like I said, I voted for Trump. I wouldn't say I'm super far right or super far left, but somewhere in the middle.
Cool. I appreciate you. Yeah, have a good one, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Take care.
Chat, we're still waking up. Still waking up a little bit. Trish Dish, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. Chat, consider becoming a subscriber. It's like $3 a month, and it makes you immediately, like, from here to here. You're like, this is how awesome you are now. It would bump you up. Yellow?
Yo, Cookie King Mogs, you bro. Cookie King Mogs, Cookie King Mogs. Cookie
Fuck
King
yeah.
Mogs.
W
Cookie
Skibbity Riz,
Cookie
dude.
King Mogs, you. Cookie King Mogs.
Hello? I think this is Democrat. I don't know what it means, guys. I don't know what it means. Is there a Christmas card party if you subscribe? No, I don't know what it means. Hello? Is there a Christmas card? Hello, it's me, Pickles. Hello. It's me, Pickles. Hello.
Oh.
12-month sub, Meg. Thank you so much. Holy cow. Hello? Vegito? Vegito? Jeez Louise. Bucket, you got to get out of the box. Someone paid to kick you. Someone paid to kick you, bro, Chacho. Go on, get. Someone feed us, deleted you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Oh no, it's frozen. Hello?
Are you a Trump supporter?
Hello?
All right. All right.
Crap. Yes.
You're welcome to come back. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
What up? What do you like about Trump?
I have a hard time hearing you. Hold on a second. What up, Pickles, man? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome as fuck. How are you?
Good, good, good. Man, you gotta leave this politics stuff alone. Get back on PUBG a little bit, man.
Oh, you're a PUBG. You're from the PUBG days.
Yeah, I used to play like way back in the day. I don't play it anymore, man. So, but I did vote for Trump. I'm from Georgia. I mean, I voted for him based just on his first term and the way shit was. I mean, not too much into politics, but I try not to pay attention anymore to politics because I don't believe anybody anymore unless I see it and hear it with my eyes. I don't believe shit anybody says. If you listen to 10 different people, it's 10 different things, you So but that's the only reason why I voted for him. Is, hey, life was good. I had money. Work was good. Shit was cheaper the first
I
4
would,
years, and then all that COVID shit, everything. Well, I don't know.
yeah, I agree. So, I would say Trump spent a lot of time and money trying to convince people that the COVID economy was Biden's economy, and that things were a disaster while Biden was in office. And Biden, in my opinion, was one of the top 10 presidents we've ever had. He was very good.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I based off everyday life that I go through. During Trump term, I had, like I said, I had work. I'm in the trucking business. I had work. The rates were good. I was living, man. Biden turned 2021, end of 2021, 22, 23, man. This whole business went down the drain, man.
Yeah, that
Like,
COVID.
barely out surviving. So, I mean, I don't know.
That was
I don't
COVID,
know what
man.
it is, but I mean, it is what it is. And that's the only reason why I base, why I cast my vote. So,
Your sound's still pretty rough. I don't know if you can get off Bluetooth.
I am on Bluetooth. I'll catch back, sometimes with you, man. I like listening to you, man. Like I said, I hear a lot of good things from both sides, and I don't pick sides, man. I love everybody, so.
All right, bub.
Well, I mean, hey, good. Stay out there, do your job, man. Do the best you can, man. Get back on PUBG, though, man.
We'll see.
Take care.
All right, man.
Take care.
Chat, I will never download PUBG ever again. Not even if there's a fucking fire. Fuck that game. Fuck that game. Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Are you a
How you
Trump
doing?
supporter?
I'm gonna disappoint you. No, I'm not. I did have one quick question for you though.
Oh.
In this political climate, it's really confusing. Can you give me a short list of some people that you would like to see run in 2028?
Pete Buttigieg, maybe Jasmine Crockett. Let's see. Newsom is, he's all right. I love AOC.
Okay.
I know Pete Buttigieg is just real up there for me. I really like.
I agree with the Buttigieg pick. That's a really good one. I like the way he speaks.
Josh Shapiro, Andy Bashir. Andy Bashir is
Okay.
real cool.
Yeah. He's Kentucky. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Yep, he's Kentucky. I agree with the Buttigieg pick. He's real well spoken. I would really wish people could. I'm speaking for the stereotypes, not me personally. The gay thing is going to hold him back because we're a bunch of degenerates in America now, apparently. I'm kind of a centrist, so there are a couple of Republicans and Democrats that I would like to see run, including Pete Buttigieg, Brian Kemp from Georgia. I also really like and admire. He's done really well there. Annie Birchner. I completely butchered that last name. Not the biggest fan of Crockett. I think she turns me off of her as a candidate the same way that Trump does. I don't like her rhetoric. I don't like sometimes how she does personal attacks instead of speaking on policy, like the whole thing with Greg Abbott.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, also someone in the comments said, I'm gay. I don't like being held back. Sorry if that sounded insensitive when I said that about Pete Buttigieg. I'm just speaking that, women, minorities, LGBTQ community have a harder time getting elected. But yeah, I just want to ask your opinion on that. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm not a Trump supporter. But thank you, man. Have a nice day.
YouTube up. Bashir's pretty dope. I just feel like, I don't know. He's kind of like a softer Bush. That came out wrong. He's like a softer George Bush.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
So, do you remember speaking to me at all
Yeah.
before yesterday?
Before yesterday? No.
Yeah, so no, we never did. But I wouldn't expect an apology, and I don't need it, but I would appreciate it because a few people came on after that saying lies about how I had been here before and spewing all this hate, and you know, I had lied about things that I said, which is all not true. It was really the first time that I was here. But
Dude,
do you want to apologize on their behalf, or?
I do my best to treat my guests with respect. It's very seldom I actually do like ad homs or say something negative about them.
I've noticed that, and I appreciate that.
And I will say I condemn those things. I don't know if it goes far. I guess I apologize. Yeah, I apologize on their behalf. I sit up here and I get kicked in the fucking nuts like a party clown all day. So
That's true.
I
Yeah.
just say it just comes with territory, bro. If you're gonna come up here and
Yeah.
debate, like chances are you and I wouldn't be doing this alone in a room and care as much as if it weren't in front of 1,500 people. So
For sure. I appreciate that, and I respect your answer. Yeah.
thank you.
One of the subjects we were talking about yesterday was the LGBTQ plus, and I don't want to go on that really today, but I do want to come back because yesterday I said at some point, if we go out and do some research and I find some info about the hormones having potentially irreversible effects, potentially, I would get back to you. And I did find a lot of stuff. So would you
Okay.
allow me to read some stuff, some authors and some things
Sure.
that I found? Okay, so Hudson in 2018 found that cross-sex hormones can permanently impair fertility. So can permanently impair fertility.
Okay. And
Estrogen therapy in trans girls leads to drastically reduced sperm production.
hold on.
Testosterone in trans. Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like these are short notes. Do you have like a percentage chance?
I mean, I could try. It would take a while. I'd have to open the paper. I kind of did a resume here, but I could open the paper and kind of find what it is. But
So
what
I would
would be the percentage? You know, is it really acceptable if it's 5% or 20 or 30%?
Yeah, because there are plenty of like over-the-counter medications, and also like getting in a hot tub would do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the thing is, this is a little different, right? Like we're
I want to know the difference.
we're suggesting or encouraging these people to do these things, and by the way, telling them, like you did yesterday, that they are reversible.
Yes, for the
when
most
it's
part,
not the
yes, they are.
case.
Yeah, and again, every single type of Advil has side effects, right? Are we out there stopping children from taking Advil? No. So I want to know, like, these things are calculated risks that people make it with their doctor and their parents. And for you to say, I know these risks better than you is, I think it's horrible. Like, kids get knee surgery and there's a higher rate
No, I'm
for
not
that.
saying that I
Kids
know
get
them
heart
better
surgery.
necessarily than the doctors
Yeah.
or than the people that have subject to them. But when you said yesterday that they were irreversible, that was a red
Yes.
flag.
Okay.
Because there's a
for
lot
the-
of evidence that some things are not reversible.
Okay, there are plenty of people who detransition, and you would never know.
I mean, never know. Yet it's relatively speaking, I would never know. Maybe because I didn't know them. Maybe if someone was really close to them, they'd know. I'm not sure if you've heard a lot of testimony about people that had detransition and how tough that was for them, and how tough it is today because they had done that.
And they have the same amount of people who do the same thing for people who went through chemo, people who went through knee surgery, people who went through all these other things. And it's a much higher risk doing all of those things I just listed.
Okay, I mean, so just so that everybody knows, I mean, there are irreversible consequences. At least we could put that out there. We agree on that, and then it's up to them to say if it's more or less important or significant than taking over-the-counter drugs or doing other things.
It's 100% worth the risk of reducing suicidality in every event that they so choose. I would say yes.
Okay.
And for me or you to say that it's that we have a better take on this than the doctor, the child, or the parent, I think is silly. And especially because this is a special thing that you care more especially about because it has to do with trans issues, with gender dysphoria, and not just like a heart disease or bad knees. Someone already paid to kick you, dude. I am so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
I'm not paid to be here.
W Trish in the chat. You paid to be here. What? Absolutely not. Not sorry. Read about the science. Figure out how to have an ounce of sympathy. Trisha, thank you so much. Sheesh. Heavens to Betsy, guys. That was fast. Sorry, it was Trisha. Hello?
Yo.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, you told me to bring receipts. I got 2. I kind of left the other ones at home.
What you got?
Yesterday, 70% of rap is consumed by white. And that study was old. But if we want to talk about old studies, then 50% of rape is false convictions. Anyway, the numbers are 46% for black and then 26% for Hispanic. And
For
that's
what?
because...
False convictions?
No. Sorry, I'm going back to rap.
Okay.
I'm saying if you want to use old studies, then 50% of rape cases are false. If you want to use old studies, because that rap study that you used was from the 2000s.
I don't know how those two are related, but sure. They're both old studies.
Yeah, I'm saying if you want to use old studies. You following me, or do you want me to go
I guess. Yeah, sure. It's a weird reach. So 70% of rap is consumed by white people, and you said now that you have an updated number?
Yeah, they did a study in 2023. It's actually kind of hard to find. It blew up in 2019 around the world. Rap did. So maybe add that in there if you're looking for the study. And this isn't even a Trump versus Kamala thing. So I'd like to talk about something else. But you told me to bring receipts, so I will.
You're right. A new Statista study shows that 50% of those who consume hip hop identify as white. So if it's 69% identify as black, that suggests a large and diverse audience for the genre. And I still would say it's not congruent with the violence that we see in today.
Okay. I don't remember the whole conversation about it, but I'm just trying to come up here and point people in the direction that you're not always right, and your chat is kind of terrible a lot of the times. Now, the other one was you said undocumented migrants commit 29 murders per year.
Last year. Mm-hmm.
So do you know where they get most of the information?
That information comes from Customs Border Protection.
Okay. So Texas is the only state that I know of that tracks immigration status along with their crimes. So a lot of studies come from there. And right here, this is Reuters.com. Reuters. A June 2024 analysis. Now I could go to the analysis, actually. The homicide conviction rate was 2.2 per 100,000. And in 2022, they accounted for 67 murders. Just in Texas.
Yeah, I know. That was a peak. That's already in. That's in the same. That's in the same statistics chart that I have.
Okay, I'd like to see that, because a lot of the times you guys say these things like
right
the
here,
10-year debt.
62.
62.
It's the same place, but 29 and 29 for the next 2 years.
Oh, for the next 2 years. Okay. Yeah.
It was three. When Trump got elected, saying all this stuff about migrants being criminals and rapists and violent criminals. It was 3 people when he started saying this. And if it was not widely reported, if there's nowhere we can actually find all of the people murdered by criminals, why are we even making the suggestion that this is the case?
So, Pickles, right here it says 67. That's just in Texas. So I don't know where.
Then CBP needs to update their numbers.
Yeah, but if it's just in Texas, that's kind of ridiculous. 67. Now you also say that undocumented migrants, it's a net positive. Well, there's a study by the CBO. It's like a 26-page document.
I already know what you're talking about. They're taking this from FAIRS. They took this study from FAIRS. FAIRS is like pretty much a right-wing hate group.
See, I don't want to ask you to prove that to me, but it's a government website.
I know. It's the Congressional Budget Office, and it is a politician who was elected for political reasons, and they say this. They wrote this down. They're able to publish things on websites when you're part of Congress.
Okay, hold on. Undocumented migrants, net tax loss. Have a net fiscal impact. They receive more in government services than they pay in taxes. That's congress.gov. Not even CBO. So now, Hillary Castle, Jeff, you are embarrassing yourself. Dude, I love how happy your chat is.
Stop reading chat. It gives you cancer. I can't read chat either. Don't do it, dude.
Okay. So there's multiple studies. Now, another statistic that I'd like for you to keep in mind is undocumented migrants have the highest rate of death on job sites, not just for becoming construction workers, right? They don't work more construction than legal immigrants and
That's not true.
Citizens do.
That's not true. They're overrepresented in construction.
I disagree.
Where do you disagree? I think it's a literal fact.
I mean, unless farming is construction, then I disagree.
Yes, undocumented migrants are overrepresented in construction industry. 15 to 23%. And even higher in Pacific trades like roofing and drywall.
Yeah, roofing for sure. But
and that's probably roofing's one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the world. But yeah, if you don't like things like that, we should definitely talk about not voting for Trump or anyone in the right-leaning sphere that would deregulate and allow companies to do things without safety regulations. Or is Trump who's defunding OSHA?
Trump is defunding OSHA.
I believe he is.
Would you consider it bureaucratizing? Kind of like
yeah, as of June 2025, proposed budget cut from Trump, significant funding cuts for OSHA.
Yeah. So I do work construction and I've never seen OSHA ever. So how do you even know that they're out there doing?
I've been popped by OSHA. I used to own a construction company. I've been popped by OSHA.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'd have to do some more research on that. But again, they're not a net positive, undocumented migrants. They commit more murders than you think.
Okay, even if it's double, even if it's 120, it's literally, they're still literally the safest demographic in the United States by far.
Okay. If that's nothing, then why are you guys so concerned with police murders if they do less than that? That's nothing to you then.
It's the disproportionality. It's not the amount, it's the disproportionality. And also, if you look at other countries, police don't murder people.
Yeah, well, police are also corrupt.
Okay, but they don't murder people in other countries, is like they do here.
You don't think so?
You think they're murdering people in countries where they don't have pew-pews?
Police murders in... Police deaths. We'll go police deaths in Japan. Because you can't just scapegoat other countries for everything. If we were to talk about other countries, why would we have a higher corporate tax than all the other countries then?
Because we have a huge military. It's $1 trillion a year. Someone's got to pay for it, not the poor people.
Yeah, but our military is backed by our dollar, so we have to spend a lot by it.
Okay, again, we have to pay for it.
Yeah, we have plenty of money, dude. We bring in how much? Our military could be funded with the tariffs. 300 billion, 368 billion, plus 700 billion.
That would be funded by the poor people. That would be funded by the lower class and middle class.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes.
How so?
Because we are the consumers. How many plastic pieces of shit electronics do you think one rich person buys? And how many plastic pieces of electronics do you think the average household? But it's about the same. So on average, the poor people are paying just as much, literally, numerically, as a rich person when it comes to tariffs.
You think that a poor person has more TVs in their house than a rich person?
I'm saying that a rich person, his wealth versus what he pays in tariffs, it's much more proportionally affecting poor people.
Yeah, how so? You can't just say that.
Okay, if a rich person has 5 TVs, if he has 5 TVs and he makes $5 million a year versus one poor person who has 2 TVs and they make 60 grand a year? Who's spending more on tariffs?
The rich person. They're buying more
Proportional
TVs.
to their wealth.
Oh, proportional. Yeah, the poor person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's contributing more to the tariffs? The rich person.
It's still like add up the 1,000 rich people who are abundantly rich who wouldn't even know.
Pickles. Are you
They wouldn't
saying
even know.
nobody can? You're
It's-
saying nobody can be rich then? If you get
I'm
over
not
$1
saying
million,
nobody can be rich. This is
That's
the
what you're
boot.
saying.
This is the bootlicking propaganda that is perpetuated in right-wing politispheres. They get you to sympathize, like, oh well, they earned their own money, yada yada yada. What we need to do, I always do this. I don't know. I haven't done this in a while, but this is how money flows in an economy. All right. So you buy. Here's poor people. Here's rich people. All right. And say you go to Subway.
So,
and
Pickles, rich people pay proportionally more taxes. Is that a bad thing?
Yes, but there's also this thing, and I don't know if that's true. There's also this thing that's called I'm sorry. It's what's it called? Marginal utility. There's this thing called marginal utility. So for every dollar that you make, it's worth less to you than the last. So say if you're a per person with $100 and someone asks you for $10, that could make or break you. But if you're a rich person and someone asks you for $10, you could literally not even notice, right? Let me get onto my drawing. So you're a poor person. You buy something from Subway, you pay it to Subway, and it goes boop, and it trickles up, is what I call it. It's a trickle up effect. So it goes up to the rich, and then they go. You can just hold the screen and then click clear screen.
Dope as fuck.
Okay, so rich people go, they pay taxes, and it comes back down and it cycles back down. Or they go and they pay wages to somebody, they pay their workers, and it comes and it cycles back down. And then those people go and they buy more shit. They buy from Walmart, etc., and so on and so forth. And what happens is when rich people or Republicans get in office, and well, let me backtrack. The poor people go up here and they pay rich people, and some of it stays. Not all of it trickles down, right? Like they get to keep some of it. They hoard some of that wealth, just a little bit.
You don't think poor people hoard wealth?
They do.
I would say
We'll do it. We'll say like this much, all right?
Yeah.
But the rich people, they hoard wealth, and then some of it trickles down. And then Republicans get into office and they cut taxes in a way that exasperates this, and it makes this bigger and this smaller.
Now hold on.
Hold on. What happens is
you can't just go, dude.
Go ahead.
So, in the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, how much were taxes cut for each group?
I can show you a graph, but 83% went to the top 0.1%.
Maybe 83% of the money.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. So what would you expect? He would cut it 0.1% for the rich? That's what you wanted?
No. I'll show you a graph of the difference between like what Kamala was going to do. But this is what happens.
I don't like your graphs though. They're never true.
They are. Like this is just for you to understand. This is an exact model to scale, bro. So this just perpetuates. This goes on and on and on, right? You have a finite amount of money. Like right now we have roughly $20 trillion in circulation. So we do this for 10 years with $20 trillion in circulation. And all of a sudden, this is just this big, this is tiny, and money's dried up. Right here, we run out of money. There's nothing. The poor people just have nothing. And then what do we have to do?
You gotta pass more funding bills for them.
You gotta print money.
Yeah.
You gotta print it. You gotta print money. And then what happens?
Now you're saying the cycle is going to repeat. Well, what happens when the stock market crashes? Who loses most of the money? Elon Musk lost like.
Listen, I don't care. Only 59%. Only 59% of people have stocks. So you have to. So this. Listen, hold on. Go with me. Follow me for a second. This is what happens.
It doesn't just.
This is what happens.
there's more at play than just
Of
three
course there
arrows.
is. But this is in very simple terms. This is what happens, bro.
It's way too
This is
simple.
what happens. Okay? This is what happens, and when Trump comes in office and he makes tax breaks for the rich, it just gets bigger. And this gets smaller. It's not that we want free handouts. It's we want a working economy. We want a working cash flow.
Okay, great. So you remember, I brought this up a while ago. OBRA laws, Bill Clinton, 1992 to, when was he president? 1990 to 1998. He implemented strict laws on the rich, and the wealth gap still grew. And it was like a crazy increase in the tax rate. Why would their wealth still go up if he increased the tax rate on the
Because
rich?
they could still do stock buybacks. They can still do all sorts of stuff.
They could still do stock buyback. What does that have to do with it?
Because they can take their own
Not all
money.
rich
They are
people own
not,
companies.
because there's no incentive to pay your workers more. This is what used to happen. This is what used to happen.
Hold on, you just completely, that just went right over your head, I feel like.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Just because the
First you're
simple
talking about-
tax rate went up does not mean it started trickling down more.
I don't think your viewers even know what a stock buyback is. That's when a company buys back its stock.
Yes, and enriches themselves, and it literally does nothing
Not
for
always.
anybody. It does
does
nothing
not
for
always
anybody besides the company, right?
If the company's going to shit and they buy back their stock, boom, they lose money, pickles. It's risk.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah, that poor company taking these huge risks. This is what used to happen. Back in 1950, we had a huge marginal tax rate. I believe it was upwards of 40-something%. So think about being a business owner. Be a business owner back in 1950, and you're faced with like a $5 million check to the IRS, and you're just walking around your office. You're like, fuck this. I fucking hate the IRS. Fuck these people. I really don't want to pay this. This is what used to happen. They would go, all right, I'm going to add to my company's expense, their operating expense. So I'm going to give everyone a raise. I'm going to go buy some company vehicles. I'm going to give people fucking retirement plans and all sorts of things like that. And literally your tax rate, your tax liability would be cut. It would be cut by however much you do this. That's why this was effective. This is what actually caused trickle down. This is what closed the wealth gap. And now we don't have that.
I'm glad you brought this up. So I did a bunch of research on this. Why don't companies, why don't they just write off everything? Well, because this is according to all the studies I read, it's not the most efficient way. You can look this up. 30% of the corporate tax rate is passed on the consumer. 30%.
Okay.
Look it up, please.
You know what? I accept that. I accept that on average. And that also means that in some companies it's 10%, and in some companies it's 60, right?
Yes, maybe. I don't know that for sure, but we'll go with that.
Here's why that doesn't even like translate to everything, right? So say you're a small
You just erased all that, and you didn't even let us keep talking about it. Okay, so let's say they do buy all this shit, right? What happens when all those cars break down? Yes, they can write off the costs, but then it's a continuous inflationary cycle. You can't just keep on getting bigger unless the infrastructure's there. That's why it's not the most efficient way to write off your taxes.
You would scale this as much as you can, right? So like you would build a new brick and mortar. You would franchise out. You would make other investments. You would start another company. So I'm glad you admit that corporate tax cuts, no matter how much, there is a point where there's no more hiring, right? So corporate tax cuts don't always make jobs, right?
Tax cuts don't always make jobs, but tax increases don't also make jobs.
There you go. So for any Republican telling you, oh, look, these people need a tax cut so they can create more jobs, I think 100% of the time they say that, 100% that is a lie.
Pickles, what is the tax rate, corporate tax rate in Finland, in United
Something
Kingdom?
around 20%, right?
And now, what is ours?
21.
Okay, where is the issue?
We are the richest country on earth, and again, we have $1 trillion. Do they have $1 trillion military?
Do they have trillion-dollar companies based in their country?
Exactly,
No.
exactly. So if we have $1 trillion company, they should be paying a lot of taxes, right?
They are paying a lot of taxes.
No, they're not. Compared to
paying
their wealth, no, they're not.
21%.
No, they're not. Some companies,
Well, actually,
I've paid more taxes than Trump some years. I have.
Okay, two things. The ETR is around 13%, the effective tax rate. So even though it's at 21, they still write stuff off.
Yeah, we need to close
Okay.
some of those loopholes.
The second thing, well, the loophole would be writing stuff off, buddy. You just said that you want people to do that.
No, for operating expenditures, sure. But like, should we be able to write off private jets? No. Should we be able to do stock buybacks? Absolutely not.
I'm pretty sure there is limits to those things. I'd have to look at the tax code.
Should we be able to write off fucking tanning beds?
I don't think you can. You can't just write off everything.
Listen, this is something that Republicans just put in the bill, the big beautiful bill. Tanning beds, bro?
That they can write off tanning beds?
Yes.
In the tax code?
Yes. If you're not a tanning salon, you can write off. Come on, bro.
I will have to read that.
Silencers? Yeah. Pew-pews,
There's
silencers?
There's a lot of misinformation being spread about the big beautiful bill, like the 250 million acres.
The big
you do know it's not 250 million.
What'd you say?
I said there's 250 million that is available in the stockpile, but they're only going to sell 2.5 million. And wasn't Kamala going to do the same thing? She was going to do the same exact thing. I remember reading about it.
On what?
On her affordable housing. She was going to sell off federal land for housing development.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better than for like the people for the people to live on.
That's what Trump is doing. He's not just going to sell random land. He's not selling national parks.
Okay, well, he's actually allowing people to fucking cut forests down in national parks. I think it's fucking horrible.
Oh, hold on. It is healthy to take down trees in a loaded forest. Dude, we do it on our farm. I've read about this, Pickles.
Okay, let park rangers like go around and maybe deforest where it's healthy, but we're not going to industrialize that. We're not going to commoditize the trees in our fucking forests.
Industrialized. It's not. It absolutely is not. What would you rather have? All these trees burning, or would you have it be made in a valuable lumber?
Dude.
What?
Dude, you're sitting here saying like you justifying this, be like, oh, what, you want everything to burn down? Like, come on, man.
Pickles.
Come on.
Pickles. What do you mean, come on? Deforesting, that's literally healthy for a forest.
Hey, you know what we should do is sweep the forest.
No. You can't just. Why are you so against it? What do you know about?
I think because it's disgusting. It's just because we all know what Trump is trying to do, and it's not for the greater good of these forests being healthier. I swear to God, if you're gonna say that's the case, you're fucking delulu. You and I both know Trump would literally sell his own children for $5.
So you saying that tells me that you're delusional, because he would absolutely not do that. I know you're being sarcastic. Now I would like to say, since you have nothing more on this matter and you don't know what you're talking about,
dude?
I guess we haven't even come to an agreement on anything.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here drawing pictures for you, dude.
Yeah, to make yourself look good. You're the host. Now, I've seen people smarter than me come up here, and they've still been unable to get it into your guys' heads. Now, there is one thing I'd like to bring up before we talk about CPI and PPI. How do rich people, the top 0.5%, how do they make their money? How does Donald Trump make his money?
Probably through stocks. He's made 40% of his wealth, I believe, through his meme coin.
So Pickles, that's definitely not true. His market cap was in the millions on the meme coin.
No, he's literally since he's come into power since January, he's made 40% of his wealth, is what I've read.
I don't believe that, dude. His stock ticker DJT he's got like 2-3 billion in that. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to go on. Let's say I own $2 billion of a stock, right, Pickles, and I sell off after a year. What happens after a year of holding a stock?
Tell me.
The tax rate drops from, I think, 21 to 10, if I'm not wrong, long-term capital gains. Or no, 35 to 10. It's something astronomical. So let's say I sell.
Trump's president for the crypto holdings now represent 40% of his net worth, 2.9 billion.
I can't. So 2.9 billion. Hold on. How much DJT?
See sources CBS. Here's the report. Trump's crypto conflicts
It
of
says that
interest.
DJT is owned. Yeah, DJT is worth way more than that.
So that's totally possible.
There's no way 40% of his thing is a meme coin. There's no way that's true.
Well,
that's got to be.
I'm going to let you go dissect this, and we're not going to I'm not going to let you learn this and then dissect it here while we're talking.
Okay, fine. So anyway, I have $2 billion. After a year, turns from 25% $1 million, right? 1 year I'm going to pay taxes. The next year I'm not. Of course, you pay more taxes than Trump in a year because sometimes he pays zero.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. So why can you mislead everyone by saying that?
Dude, okay, I think in his tax returns, the 6-year table that I saw, 2 of those years he paid $1,300 and then $700 and then $0 and then $0. Spare me. You're just alluding to the fact that every other year he pays some exorbitant amount. I think every year I've paid, in those 4 years, I paid more than Trump.
Yeah.
He paid more to China. He's paid $6 million in taxes to China, but not to United. Right?
I think you're misleading people because Elon Musk did the same thing. He sold off a bunch of his stock. He paid $6 billion in taxes, and now he pays no taxes because he's not selling any stock. And now he has all this tax-free so bad that he definitely didn't work for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't have a million things we can do, like I don't know, like claim losses, talk about all of his legal fees, I don't know, do all sorts of things.
Is the second biggest donor to St. Jude Cancer Research Hospital. Did you know that?
Well, I hope he is now that he's defunded so much, and he's pretty much the reason like 3 million children or people will die in Africa this year. I hope he fucking is.
300 million?
No, 3 million.
3 million? And you don't think that there's civil wars kill enough people? I think there's one going on in South.
Okay, when you guys talk about fucking abortion, I don't go, well, what about the civil wars?
I'm not talking about abortion.
I know, but you can't just point to other people dying and be like, oh, civil war.
I'm just saying that there's other factors that cause these deaths. You can't just pull 3 million and be like, oh, 3 million people died in Africa.
No, I'm saying that 3 million people are mostly because Elon Musk defunding programs that gave people contraception and medicines to treat HIV and AIDS.
Yes, I did.
Things
hear
like
about
that.
Yeah. I'd have to definitely do some more research. I read about that one, and I don't know how to feel about that. But all the other, and you have not said anything.
What do you mean? I've addressed
Something we were talking about. I don't remember. I don't remember, dude. You move so quick.
Come
From
on.
one thing to the next.
Come on. You can't just do that after we talk and not remember what you're talking about.
Well, then tell me.
I'm not the one making the claim.
Definitely the cutting down. Definitely.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm up here. Thank you, Pickles. Jeff, I'm going to call this out because the whole chat called it out. Wildfires.
Deforestation.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Explain that one. Why don't you?
Yes, but you know what the difference between an old growth forest and a new growth forest is?
I know that lumber companies plant 2 trees for every one they cut down. I'd assume that's a new growth forest.
So do you know the Yellowstone wildfire?
No.
Huge swaths of the park. Due to the fact of mismanagement of the forest, clean up forest debris on the floor, and so that when lightning would strike or a campfire sparks might go somewhere, that it wouldn't ignite this tinder on the ground. But what we did was we were damaging old growth forests, which have natural preventative.
Hold on. Did you just say that they're clearing out the bottom of the floor? You think that's what they're doing when they're harvesting wood?
They do that as well. You have to get around it.
Hold on. So you're saying when we clear out the floor and the trees, like they are doing, then it's fine. But if they just clear out the floor, that's what you just told me.
No, that's not what I just told you. You're not listening. When we damage old growth forests by sweeping the floor, it's both. We are causing wildfires. All of these wildfires that you're seeing lately are in new growth areas.
I think what you're thinking of is the leftover vegetation.
No, I know exactly what I'm speaking on. I went to school about this. You don't know what you're talking about.
If you leave dirt, if you cut down the trees and take out the pine needles and the leaves and the mushrooms, and honestly, mushrooms are pretty great too. What is going to burn?
The
tree trunk? The tree trunk is going to burn?
Do you know what happens when you scar the land?
When I scar the land?
Because fires can still catch in plains or in areas where grass will grow. You can pull up everything you fucking want, grass will still grow there.
Okay.
And then what you're going to have is that when that fire spreads through there, you have to remove that layer of soil. It's far enough down because nothing can grow through it. This is why when you look at California and where all the wildfires are happening, it's taking so long for things to grow back because the land, they have to go through and take up all of that topsoil that has been burned. Station is extremely dangerous, and for Trump to want to go into our, you are basically just saying might as well light a match and light our entire lumber industry in America on fire.
Give me one deforested section that burned so they can look into it, please.
And I'm talking about several.
Where are we deforesting right now? What
we're currently deforesting?
Yeah.
Wherever we're pulling lumber from right now.
Canada?
We also pull from the United States. Some of our lumber does come from the US. Most comes from Canada.
Yeah, well, you told me to give you a place, so I gave you Canada. Now, could you please tell
certain areas of Canada when lumber industries are doing the monoculture of only planting the same type of tree in the same and are often susceptible to wildfires.
Okay, so you're going to tell me one national forest we're deforesting, right? Just give me one.
We're not Canadian.
In United States. I'm asking.
Okay, so now we're moving back to the United States.
Artemis wolf. I'm asking you to give me one spot where we're deforesting so that I can go in and look up information.
Sure, I will give you one of the areas that our lumber yards work in.
Well, if you're gonna look it up, I'll do the same. But I figured you know all this information.
I don't have things randomly memorized.
Well, you said you went to school for this.
I did. That doesn't mean I have it memorized.
All right, I'll do the same thing. And then, what do you recommend we do to get wood? I mean, since we can't cut down any trees.
We can cut down trees if we do it correctly and we do it smart.
And
this
you
is
don't
why
think that
Canada has a better way of handling this.
In place.
I'm sorry?
I said you don't think that lumber companies who are professionals have precautions.
They're capitalistic. They don't always have biologists, forest. Okay, can you stop interrupting me?
Didn't you interrupt me the first time I talked? Yeah.
No, I didn't. I waited.
After I asked you to. What the fuck is your problem?
You're not allowing me to finish explaining. So most lumber companies are not going to hire environmentalists, deforester, like people who talk to focus on deforestation, biologists. They're not going to hire these people. Some do to help them create a better method of replanting, but most don't because they see it as a wasted expenditure.
Well, I'll refer back to what Pickle said. With all this corporate tax we pay, they most definitely hire people because it's a tax write-off and it decreases our tax liability.
No, because then when they're told they can't pick lumber from there, what are they going to do?
Write off all the wages that it took to.
No. What I'm saying is that if they hire people who actually do this, who do conservation, if they hire a conservationist on a lumber team and they go, hey, you can't take lumber from this giant area because if you do, it's going to cause irreparable damage to this forest, is that lumber company going to listen to the person they hired, or are they going to just fire them and take the lumber?
I'm not a professional, but these people are, and you think they just go into
Spoiler
random
alert, they
forests?
fire the conservationist and they take the lumber anyway.
If it's against the law, no, they can't.
Where is this law?
They can't. Lumber companies can't just go into random national parks and deforest.
I know, and we're saying Trump is letting them.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Permits? He's giving out more permits to do it?
No, he is demanding expansion and tree cutting across 113 hectares.
Now, you don't think that there's any paperwork that goes with this? There's any sort of oversight? You don't think there's any oversight?
He gets rid of regulations. The oversight you're asking about would be adding regulations. He's removing regulations.
And which regulations did he remove regarding lumber?
Holy fuck, dude! You don't see Trump tweeting that he's like literally on his back with his legs spread behind his head, and he's saying, "Hey, if you have $1 billion, come do business. I'll cut all regulations and red tapes. You can come do it." Like, you don't think this is the Trump way, that he just lets everybody come in?
What he said. This is a fact. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. For every one new regulation, he's going to get rid of 10 old regulations.
Well, there you go. Yeah, can you name one regulation that you think that you would be in favor of getting rid of? Just any kind of any type?
Put me on the spot here. There are some dumb regulations, I can tell you that. You mind if I look some up?
Go for it.
Yeah.
And currently right now, when it comes to national parks, the only thing that you are allowed to do is harvest trees for personal use like firewood or a Christmas tree. And that's going to be in certain national parks that's allowed. What Trump is doing with his executive order of wanting to add 113 hectares is that he's trying to also bypass the Endangered Species Act.
Ooh. Yeah, you just looked that one up. Good job.
I did. I actually know this. I couldn't get to it because he wouldn't stop talking.
Pretty sure you muted me, Artemis.
I didn't mute you.
Somebody did. Wasn't me.
I didn't do it. I don't mute people.
Pickles, was it you?
No.
Well, then it was you, Artemis.
No, what I
There's
have
other mods in here.
Yeah, I have other mods.
Well, I don't know what to tell you then. Wow, it's illegal to drive while. Well, that's not really a old. That could just be reckless driving while blindfolded in Alabama. Let me get some federal ones.
I want to keep that one in place.
Yeah. You must report illegal income. That's weird. Frozen cherry pies must contain at least 25% cherries by weight. Milk as a. I don't think any of these apply to me, so I don't really like them. But I tell you what, Pickles, I will do my research on some stupid regulations that affect me and you, because I'm sure there are some.
All right.
I think there's too many OSHA guidelines, and if we're getting rid of some of those, that'd be fine.
You know what I've always found fascinating about OSHA is those guidelines exist because somebody unalived before the guideline existed.
Natural selection.
Hey,
That's not even what that means.
Jeff, can you say thank you, Lindsay?
Another vote to kick. Thank you, Lindsay. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe.
Go on, get.
My God. Jesus.
Thank you so much, Artemis. I knew you had
Yeah,
something to
no,
say
when
about the deforestation. I just knew it.
it frustrates me more than anything because right now we have a corporate lobbyist that is going to be Tom Schultz, previous vice president of Idaho Forest Group, is who they're looking at to put in charge of all of this. And he's a corporate lobbyist. We need to protect old growth forests. That's all I'm going to say. And the fact that we have lost so much old growth already, and the fact that we're just going to go in and take that out now, that people should be concerned. Our national parks are so important. So, yeah, I will drop. But yeah, no, sorry. That drives me bonkers when people think that they know what that's doing. So
Well,
thank you so much, Pickles.
Much
And
love, Artemis.
yeah,
WR,
love
guys,
you
follow
too.
Artemis. Do it right now. Thank you. And much love, Artemis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Much love.
Chat, if you're friendly, get out of my box. Learn consent. Let's talk to Lubes 48. Lubes 48 was not in my box. I'm still laughing about soft bush.
And she goes, you can let it go for like 6-7 months.
Hello?
6 or like 70 months.
Slowpoke? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh. If you're actually here, you're welcome to come back in the box. Just not in my box.
Bro.
Hello.
What's up, Pickles?
What's up, dude? What do you got going today, Debo? Are you at work?
I'm on lunch right now. I had a little bit of a late lunch, but I was listening to that entire little fiasco.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you ever walked through a forest before?
Yeah.
Like a legit forest?
What's a legit forest?
Like, I mean, does Texas even have forests?
I mean, we don't. My grandparents' house backs up to forest.
Like a national forest?
No, it's not national,
park.
but it spans
Right, but
miles.
It's a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
So therefore it's a forest. No. So all it, like, to anyone that doesn't know, let me just explain something to you. If you go into a forest and a park ranger comes up to you and you don't have a permit to cut down a tree, you're going to jail for a really, really long time. You don't just walk into like big lumber companies don't just walk into a forest and start hacking down trees.
We know
it doesn't work that way.
But Trump is whoring us out and saying, "Hey, national forest, come and get them, guys." Like anything
That is
to make
not
the
true,
the
my
economy in the lumber.
Come on, buddy.
What do you mean that's not true?
Come on. That's not how
I
it
believe
works.
he's letting people into the Washington fucking national forest. Yes, he is.
Oregon is the largest lumber producer in the United States. Okay? So every year, I believe
Chris super chatted $9.99. For the record, I work in a refinery and everyone is super against getting rid of OSHA regulations.
Yeah, imagine if your employer didn't.
I'm not talking about that shit.
All right, yeah.
My dad works for OSHA. I'm fully aware of all like the things. Every time we sit down and have dinner, I get to hear about the last call he went on, and some of it's kind of fascinating. Most of it is pretty like I don't want to put the chat to sleep. Okay, so the only point I'm trying to make here, it is super regulated. Anytime you go into a forest and start cutting down trees. They have a group of people, they go in, they tie ribbons around the trees that they want to cut down, and then they don't do anything to the ones that are still standing. Our forests are so overgrown because what happens when a fire starts in a forest? We put it out, right? So naturally, the forests don't like like fire is actually healthy for the planet. Like that's because it takes in order for a tree to reproduce, it takes heat for the pine cones to open up. This is legit. Like this is legit how it works. This is fucking nature. This isn't Debo's perspective. This is how it works. Anybody that wants to try to sit here and discredit me, I don't give a shit. Just go read a book about how it works. The problem is we keep putting out the fire, so the trees keep overgrowing. We don't allow, in the old forest, we don't allow the new trees to come up because the old trees shadow the forest floor and it doesn't allow new growth. That is how it works, everyone. It's simple. This isn't even debatable. It's nature. That's how it works. And so what we've done is we've allowed all of our forests, which is great. We're trying to preserve nature. And I think it was FDR or Woodrow Wilson that created the first. No. It was Roosevelt. Roosevelt is the one that started the national parks.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, Pickles.
I like
You know what a
you
control
have to
burn
go.
is?
No, you went to school to therefore go look up what you're trying to cite.
So you
Like
don't know how
I don't need
education
your
works.
perspective.
That's okay. I'm going to explain this to you.
I don't need you
have
to educate
every
me on
element
education.
memorized.
But if
When
you
go
like,
to
I
school
went to
for the
school in sixth
sciences,
grade. I still remember like the states, right? Like everybody was taught the states in sixth grade. You had to memorize all
Dog, those
50
are formative
states.
years.
I
Yes.
still remember the
Come on.
majority of them.
that
But
still
I'm
has
just saying, like
nothing to
simple,
do
basic
with what I'm
things
talking
about
about.
what you're trying to spit bullshit. Like
I'm
it's
not
just
spitting bullshit. You are spitting bullshit up here currently.
Okay, what have I said? There's one
So
thing. Let's
we
just
do
go
go into old growth
one thing.
forests. We do go into old growth forests. And we do help with the new trees growing through. So right there, you were incorrect. You asked if Texas had forests.
That is not
very
even what I
shocked.
fucking said.
Yes, it is what you said. You said that we need to
Oh
let
my
things. That's what you said.
You guys like for how you just don't listen to like you
No,
just
I just think that
you
you're saying really
manipulate.
dumb things. And I'm trying to I'm
Okay,
trying to
go
explain to you
ahead.
because
I apologize. I
controlled
didn't mean to interrupt.
burns,
Go ahead.
controlled burns are things that we do allow to happen because we're in control of them. When we have fires that
How many?
start on accident, that is when we have to either manage them or we have to completely put them out because they're happening in an area that we can't control very well, or they're going to put people's lives in danger.
Do you realize that most of the controlled burns that we do actually start massive forest fires because they're actually
Really name
so
them.
overgrown and there's so much
Name them.
vegetation? It's like I think it's
Name
like
them.
40% of control.
Which ones have started massive
apo-
forest fires? Which ones have
If
started
you are
massive
going
forest
to ask me a question, allow me to respond without interrupting me. If you can't do that, then let's not even have this conversation.
Less than
I
1%
can't-
of
I can't
controlled
name-
burns. Less than 1%.
I didn't go to school for this, so I can't name them. I'm going to be open and honest and say
Oh,
I
thank
didn't
you,
go to
Pickles.
school for this.
It's less than 1%, bro.
Sorry, what'd you say, Pickles?
It's less than 1%.
1%?
Less
Yes.
than.
Okay.
Not most.
Okay. I'll even if that what is the purpose of them doing the burn? Why don't they just clear it out without burning it?
Come on.
Because a burn is going to be better for that area, depending upon where they're
Oh,
doing.
that exactly. You just fucking walked right into that
I'm
face first.
sorry.
You're the one that's sitting here advocating that we shouldn't do it because naturally.
Where did I say we shouldn't
that
do
was the
control burn?
point. That was the.
You
that
were
was, no.
you were for natural burns,
Hold on.
letting natural burns go out of control, and then she was for
Yes, thank you
controlled
for outlining
burns.
my point. Right.
Yes, and she's
correct,
for controlled burns.
So
And
let's
controlled
let
burns
them
are
burn
better.
naturally instead of controlling.
No.
Let them
What?
burn naturally.
Why would you
We have
advocate
to
for
be
that?
careful.
Oh my
Do you
god.
understand, like the Palisades fire? Do you know about that, or about the fire in
Oh,
Maui?
that was. Don't even get me started on Palisades. Don't even go
I mean,
down
it
that
sounds like
road.
you don't know really even how that started. So I feel like a conspiracy theory is about to pop up. But do you know about the
It was
Maui
actually
fires?
started. It was actually started by a power line. There's video evidence of this.
I know. So was the Maui fire. But you're saying
Right.
we should
So.
let those
Oh my
burn.
god.
We should let those burn. What happened in Maui and in California
No,
when we
what
let
I'm
them burn?
advocating for is that we clean the forest so there aren't matchsticks everywhere.
That wasn't what was
That
burning.
is. It was. Oh my.
You don't know what
Dude.
actually was burning, do you?
You are so. Like you are just so like you can't even take
You're
a
so mad at
breath
me you can't even
and
think of a
listen to
sentence
the
at
words. No,
all.
I'm actually was laughing the entire time you were standing up here saying
And
I
now
went to
you
school
can't.
for this,
Now you're
but
stumbling.
therefore couldn't cite a single thing that you went to school for off the top of your fucking head.
I was going to school for biology
How does that have anything to do with
because I took
forest
conservation
fucking management?
classes. Because we take management
Oh,
courses.
because I read a book once
No,
about something
because
I've
I
never
was
even
part of forest
experienced. So
management.
therefore, I am the fucking genius on the topic. It's amazing.
Oh my god! I literally did conservation management in the area with my school. What are you talking about?
It's just it's great. It's just it's
You
fucking
don't know
great.
anything.
This is great. You're right. I don't know anything. Yep.
Debo, stop being a wiener, dude.
But I'm dude. She's insulting me, and I'm the fucking wiener pickles. Come on.
Yeah.
Really? I'm the fucking wiener because she's insulting me, and I'm laughing it off, and now I'm the wiener. Wow. Great. Oh Jesus Christ, dude. So all I'm trying to say is that we need better management we need to manage our forest better by allowing all of this timber to lay dormant on the floor of the forest. When lightning does hit that area, it is like gasoline to a fire because they're so afraid of harming the environment of the forest. It actually hurts the forest because the fires burn so hot. And therefore, when that pine cone that I was referencing earlier is hit by 400 degrees instead of, I don't know, maybe 220, it incinerates the pine cone. And therefore, there is no new regrowth because it's supposed to do it in a natural way. But when you leave it on the floor with stacks and stacks and stacks of timber on it, it incinerates and obliterates everything. And what you said about them having to come through and bulldoze shit, yes, that is a point.
Yeah, I just have a strange question because you did say that
You're
all
right
trees.
about no.
You did say that all
I'm
trees.
trying to give you credit, and then you interrupt me.
You're
Jesus Christ.
monologuing. You said that all trees need fire to open
No,
their
I'm
seeds.
landing my plane on the point I'm trying to
the plane
fucking
crashed
make.
a long time ago. Go ahead and finish.
Go ahead. No, it's fucking pointless.
You literally
anyway.
said that all trees need fire to release their seeds. How do all trees have pine
I
cones?
said pine cones. Pine cones. Pine
Yeah, that's
trees.
not all
That's a
trees.
pine cone. A pine cone doesn't come from a fucking maple.
You
Jesus
said
Christ.
all
And maples don't
trees.
even grow in the forest.
You
No,
said
I was
all
very specific when I said a pine cone because like men are men and women are women. Pine cones don't make maples, and men don't make other fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Are you
Guys,
committing to
what are we
transphobia
even
now?
doing? Let's
Oh
listen
my
to Trump.
God.
Let's have Trump explain this to us.
No, let's not. This is terrible.
Gavin's committed. We're all committed. I'm committed to make sure that we get all of this cleaned out and protected. We got to take care of the
I'm
floors,
hateful.
the floors of the forest. Very important. You look at other countries.
He's right.
Do it differently, and it's a whole different story.
So much nuance, so much wisdom.
Correct. He's right. He's absolutely right.
And they spend a lot of time on drinking and cleaning and doing.
They do.
They don't have.
They do.
And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking
This is good.
to that end, and it's going to work out.
He's not wrong, Pickles.
So Pickles,
Morgan,
what
thank
you
you for
bring
the
up?
20. It says please kick the misogynist, guys. $20 more to get the full kick on Debo, guys.
So one of the orders that he also gave is the order stipulates logging projects can be sped up if they are for purported wildfire risk reduction via thinning of vegetation that could ignite. Scientists have said that aggressively felling forests, particularly established fire-resistant trees, actually increases the rate of fast-moving fires. This is going to make it worse because when you have that vegetation on the ground, that actually slows it down instead of it jumping from tree to tree to tree.
You're talking about vegetation, not old timber that is fallen trees. That's what he's talking about.
Vegetation
Raking the
grows
forest
on that. That's
floors.
where mushrooms grow. Animals live in that. This is a habitat.
Right, but okay. So
Like
my point that I
moss.
was making earlier is when we used to have natural occurring forest fires, they didn't burn this hot. There are studies that prove this. And the reason they're burning so hot is because there's so much fuel on the floor because we continuously put the fires out. And then when we put the fires out and we don't clean up all of the, we don't need to clean it all up because there are studies that actually
Infectious, thank you for the $20 for the rest of the kick. Infectious wanted to do it himself. Debo, back to work. Lunch break's over. Back to work.
Why are they, okay, I'm sorry, just 1 second, Pickles. Why are they fighting so hard to pull lumber out of national forest? I don't understand.
By the way, raking a forest is not feasible per Google AI, guys. It's just not a thing. We don't do that. His brain's not good. Don't do that.
Yeah, we can't, okay, I'm gonna step down.
Thank you, Artemis.
If the next person wants to talk about trees, that's all on you, Pickles.
I'm
That's
done
all
with
on
the
you.
trees. Guys, if you fucking come up here talking about trees, you're out. Thank you.
I love you, Pickles.
I love you.
Bye.
Hello? Oh. Guys, if you're friendly, please get out of my box. I love you. But we have too many viewers right now. If we get a friendly up here, people are gonna swipe. People are gonna swipe away. Also, if you're on YouTube, you can donate. It's anything over $10 super chat will get your donation read to my audience, to all 1,300 people watching on TikTok and my panel. So if you're trying to even talk shit, let me have it. Just finished my shift raking. You're doing the Lord's work. Thank you, 618. Maybe focus on saying something to keep people here. Trump sucks. And also, we're at 215,000 likes. Thank you guys so much, TikTok. Thank you all so much. I feel loved. I feel appreciated. And y'all complete me. Definitely staying now. Thank you. Thank y'all. 1.3K seems pretty good. Those are rookie numbers, chat. We can do better. Hello?
Hello. We love pickles. Pickles came in my algorithm, and I said, "Wow, what a great channel." I don't appreciate that you think I suck, but am I on camera? Am I just my avatar?
Your camera's not up. Is that Walls?
Oh, my bad, bro. How you doing, man? Where are you from?
I'm from Dallas. What about you?
That's cool. I'm from Washington State, but I've been in Minnesota for like 10 years.
Okay,
That's a lie. That's a lie. 15 years. 15 years. Yeah.
Are you a Trump
Courtney
supporter?
super chatted $9.99.
So
FTD.
I did.
That's all. Have a good day and keep up the civic duty.
Thank you so much.
That was cool. I actually did vote for Trump this last election, which was the first time voting for a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you like about
So,
Trump?
I mean, it doesn't. In all due respect, it doesn't seem like. I mean, what do I not like? Like, what do I not like about Trump? I mean, I'm
No,
fragmented from
what
him
do you like
now.
about Trump?
Oh, um, well, it's hard now. It's like it's hard for me now, based upon his campaign promises and what is going on. It's harder to answer that question now. I would say that at this moment, I do not. I don't support the presidency unless it turns back around. What I liked before was the idea of essentially not another Iraq war. I'm 37, so I saw that. And it's crazy to hear even people like Tucker, to be honest, he's been spitting some bars since COVID, but talk about the $3 trillion. But how about talk about the 500,000 civilian lives, during that time? So I just don't want that. And Trump's rhetoric was to be a non-aggressor globally and end wars. So that was a big one, his foreign policy. And then his economic plan seemed cleaner, more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time, but he didn't actually give us his plans for the economy, did he?
No, I mean, but outside of just, no.
Okay.
I suppose, I mean, you could say, again, I don't see these things happening, so it's irrelevant. His plan was tariffs on foreign country, and therefore it created economic global pressure to bring manufacturing jobs back to the United States, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, lower tax rates for everybody across the board. I can't quote
You
anything
see how those
specific
two
there.
mix together? That like tariffs are a tax on us, and then also tariffs don't really create manufacturing jobs here.
Yeah, I mean, the way it was explained to me, and again, this is probably not even accurate. What is even freaking accurate? But it was explained to me that we would be matching rates with other countries. And I don't know if that's true. I
That
didn't
was
do the
a
deep dive in that.
that was the con. That was the con. So like in fact, the presidents don't really have powers to unilaterally put tariffs on countries by themselves without Congress unless they're retaliatory. That's how he had to tell you guys that he's doing. That's why he absolutely had to say these are retaliatory. So he put tariffs on an island that has nothing but penguins with no government. They had no tariffs on us. There's a bunch of, in fact, no country that we put tariffs on had anything close to the tariffs we put on them. So like the average tariffs on the EU were like 3%, and like blanket tariffs, like every single item we buy from them had a 10% tariff on it now. That's something we pay. So for us to even justify their tariffs with more tariffs is silly, because their citizens pay those tariffs, not us.
Yeah. I mean, which metrics though are you looking at? Again, I can't verify. I would say at least you gave a little bit more reference and detail than match tariffs bad, USA. But again, I mean, that sounds good. I don't know which or all, and I don't know who you heard it from, et cetera. Things like that. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
What do you use? Like, what do you use? What economic metrics do you use? I haven't looked at this stuff, so I'm not going to get you with any got-yous. But I mean, is it gas prices? Is it inflation? Is it the cost? Is it Baconomics? Economics? I mean, like, what do you even? Is it the Chinese drone that you buy at Costco? I mean, like, what do you base?
Literally,
I don't even know if he's been good or bad for the economy. And to be honest, I don't think you do either. I don't think anybody does.
I think all the economists that come out and say, hey, these are projections for if we do tariffs, and a lot of them just say like negative 570,000 jobs if we put a 25% on China. We have negative GDP growth. We have GDP shrinking for 2 quarters straight, meaning we're going to go into recession if we see Trump continuing his insane his tariff policy. We have people scared to death to make any sort of investment in our economy if he does these tariffs because there's so much uncertainty. Say if you own, say if you're a billionaire and you're like, I want to go invest in a business and make some money. But one business is selling t-shirts and the other one sells plastic cars, both of which get all of their products from China. And they're not sure if they're going to be profitable next quarter because of Trump's tariffs. They don't even know if they're going to stay or go higher or lower. But all in all, Trump is just creating so much uncertainty that nobody wants to invest. So the stock market's going down, the economy's slowing down, less people are selling their shirts, less people are selling their plastic cars. All of those things, especially electronics. Walmart, Target, all of these people are saying we're going to have bare shelves or they're going to see a price increase because of this. Just waiting for the prices to go up, just anticipating these tariffs, the prices are going up, and they're doing layoffs just because of these things. None of these things point to the fact that this is better off for the economy as a whole. And even if a few manufacturing jobs do pop up because of this, we will see way more people lose jobs. And also, on the other side of these tariffs, the rest of the world is still going to buy from China. They're not going to buy from us. So we're going to be competing with people having far superior products and far cheaper products than us. So we're just going to be these like flimsy, stupid, uncompetitive markets, manufacturing, whatever for like.
I mean, brother, you obviously a competent, intelligent guy, and I can't firmly agree or disagree with the things you said, but you sound like me. I mean, you sound like me and you sound like a lot of people, and I really I don't think we know. I mean, the idea, what I've learned in the last 2 weeks is clearly Trump does not run this country. I mean, like the whole thing that's happened overseas to me is, and maybe foreign policy and our intelligence agencies are a separate branch or a separate entity that's doing things over in the Middle East, but clearly we watched. I mean, I'm fragmented from, I do not like to say fragmented MAGA, but yeah, I mean, I can't support this, and like watching them turn into politicians and just lie out of their teeth, and you can tell naturally if someone's saying something they believe in or not. Like if you watch the Ted Cruz interview, you can, and it's easier obviously for Tucker in that situation. He has the home field advantage, but you could tell when Ted Cruz meant what he said, politics aside, meant what he said or didn't mean what he said. And what I've seen in the last couple of weeks, it seemed like it happened overnight. They turned into the average politician. So I wouldn't be too afraid of this administration, honestly. It doesn't appear they have any real power.
Yeah,
agree or disagree?
I totally. Watching Trump, even Tulsi Gabbard, the head of our intelligence agency, she completely disagrees with the president that appointed her, and that scares me. Like people, our adversaries across the world are drooling at this. They're like, ooh, like the people can't even figure out what they like, who they side with. So
for sure,
yeah, I agree. It's a disaster.
Yeah, it's interesting. This might be a good. I just was scrolling and I just popped on your chat, but a good one that would be fun investigation, I'm sure, for y'all would be to look at how much money, including in January and February when Trump came into office, that we have given Israel in military aid. If you look at how much money that we have given in the last 10 years, they'd have the third largest, I believe, fact check me, but it's definitely top 5 and it might be second, third highest military budget globally. Israel, in my opinion, is
and they have
US
universal health care.
base.
We don't even have that.
Well, but it is the size of Delaware. It is a U.S. military base. I mean, it's like we fund that. That is a U.S. military base. The whole state, and I'm going to make a bold one. I think they're going to nuke themselves. How about that? If you look at right now in Syria, it's controlled by ISIS. No one talks about that. Ted Cruz won't talk about that. It's so easy, and I don't think it's going to be a strike by Iran. I think it's just going to be brought into the border, and I think Mossad might be behind it. And then the U.S. in return, it doesn't matter who the president is, will have a golden ticket in the Middle East after that. If you look at Bush's approval rating, right after 9/11 and the war in Iraq, it was 88%. If the U.S. saw, look at those ballistic missiles that hit Israel, people were freaking out about that. I was like, I'm in Minneapolis. More people have been shot at the park down from where I live in the last 2 years than I've been hurt. I'm like, why do we even really care? But what's going to happen is it's all going to lead to some big moment. It could be 2, 3, 5 years from now, but I think it's going to be a nuke. And then I think the U.S. will have its golden ticket. Anyways, I don't even know what I walked into, but I'll follow you and I'll check you out.
Hey,
And nobody
appreciate
look
you.
at my account. It's all trolls. I'm just doing it to practice my graphic design. All love, mean no harm. What was your name, man?
Pickles, and design me some stickers, all right, bro?
Hell yeah.
All right, girl. Take it easy. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Oh, no.
Gemini Rising super chatted $9.99. Friendlies, reminder that Pickles' box gets a bit tight. Only MAGA wieners in his box, please.
Please. Or pinkies. But with consent. Fair warning, please. Hello? Dewberry? Hello? Gemini, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the super chats. Yeah, someone just fell down the stairs. Don't wear socks on carpeted stairs, y'all. Chat. If you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. That was Biden tripping up the stairs. Good fight. Dude, Trump just tripped upstairs. You guys can't talk about that. You can't talk about that right now. Trump just did it. Hello?
How you doing?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
All day long.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Everything. And that wasn't nice what you said. Trump tripping up the stairs was not, that's not nothing to laugh at.
I no, I'm calling out somebody else for telling me about Biden tripping upstairs, but Trump just did it. So you can't bring it up.
All right then. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You want to tell me something you like about Trump?
Well, I like what he's doing with the immigration. What he's doing in California is just stand down. I love it. They got them scared out their socks out there.
Why do you hold on? Why do you think we should be sending people to prison for the rest of their lives with no due process if they cross our border?
No, I don't agree with that. No, they shouldn't. Not for life. I mean, it's not like they killed somebody. I don't agree with that.
Well, that's what Trump's doing.
Well, I haven't seen it. Where you got any proof?
Yeah. Do you know what CCOT is?
Yeah, I know what CCOT is.
He's sending people to CCOT.
All them people were bad people.
That's well, they never saw a judge. Only like some dude in a mask that makes $50,000 a year decided that on a whim, right? Some ICE people.
Actually, my cousin is one of the people who's involved with that, and they had a judge, and all of them were those MS-13, 14, whatever the hell they call them.
They were never convicted of any crime or being in a gang. That's not true.
Well, I guess they FAFO.
What'd they do? I mean, What if I said you are MS-13 and I sent you to prison for the rest of your life? How would you stop me from doing that?
I would probably beat you silly if I was face to face with you.
That's not the point. I'm saying, what if a whole group of ICE
Well, if I was
arrested
going
you?
to be a track star right now, okay?
What? Where did he go? Okay. All right. Chat. If you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to give me a follow. I also have a Cash App Venmo in the bio. If you guys are trying to support me, that's one of the best ways to do it. And it's always nice if you send me words of affirmation. Tell me how pretty I am. He sounded fake. I give people benefit of the doubt sometimes. I'm done getting my SNAP benefits. Yeah. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you. You're doing all this destruction. Why didn't you care when Obama was deporting? Obama was not sending people to prison for the rest of their lives with no due process. That's why. No green glasses today. Guys, I need like I need those you know, like those things that grandmas have? They're like the necklaces. I need those. I always lose them. Obama deported legally. That's right. That's right. Need to follow the law. People protested Obama as well, yeah. Brian with the 666. You're so easy on the eyes, Brian. You stop it. You stop it. He did it with couth. I forgot about that word. Stop it, you silly sausage. That's how he got the name Deporter-in-Chief. That's right. He can deport all he wants. It don't bother me none. You just gotta follow the law. For once, take accountability. If you guys like presidents based off of deportation, then you should vote for Democrats because they do it better.
Chris super chatted $9.99. You're pretty short. 5 feet 2 inches looking self.
Nuh-uh. Thank you, Chris. Chat, I'm not short. All right. They look great. Thank you, Shay. Thank you. Death by drone was falling to low. 6'11". That's right. Chat, I'm 6'11". And those are two different measurements. Come on. Just kidding. JK. Chat, I just got a new a projector screen and I'm so excited. They sell these projector screens. They like sit on the ground and you press a button and they
Trish
expand
super
up.
chatted $9.99 for a pickles treat from Trish. Looking extra hot in TH pickle colored glasses. Nerd face emoji. Also Bubs, keep making MAGA cry.
Trish, you stop it. You stop it. We love you, Trish. Thank you, thank you. I'm just kidding, chat. We're gonna give Pickles a treat. She knows what's going on. There she is. There she is. I see.
Nicole Lynn super chatted $9.99. I see 6 foot of stud on the screen. Winking face emoji.
Thank you so much, Nicole. That's right. She's 12, almost 13. Next month she'll be 13. The screen that I got, Lindsay, thank you for the $5. She says you got pretty lips. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Travis with $100. Keep the truth flowing, brother. From Cruising FL Streets on TikTok. W. Travis, bro, $100. The Space Marine thing is dope. Yo, I appreciate it. I just got turned on to Warhammer. And there is so much lore. There are so many books. But I had somebody break it down to me the other day, like the basis of Warhammer lore. It's actually fucking sick. Warhammer Fiend here? Fuck yeah. Yo, Cruising, appreciate it. Thanks again, dude. Warhammer is deep, yeah. Been playing for 30 years? Jeez Louise. How do you like being called that? I like being called Pickles because it's phallic. I just got turned on to Warhammer. Hell yeah. There are so many books. Like I would have to do audiobooks. It's Susu, thank you. It's actually my dog's name. You always lose me at gaming. I'm so sorry. My main audience is 55 plus, and there aren't a lot of people that love watching me game in that demographic. And that's okay. That's okay. I watch you game while I crochet or read. It's soothing. We are playing The Last of Us 2, and I haven't watched the second season. So this is all happening, and I am soaking it in as like I'm emotionally soaking it in as I'm playing the game. It's really good. If you guys want to watch me play The Last of Us 2, I'll be playing later tonight, I think, on my alt account, dark_pickles. That is also in my TikTok or in my profile. If you click on my link tree, my backup account's right there too. I don't see a debate here. Yeah, we're kind of running low on debates, chat. If you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. The Last of Us 2 is going really... It's the remastered version too. It's so good. The game story is so much better than the series for season 2. Yeah. I will take... I mean, we'll see that soon. Okay, nerds.
What up, Pickle?
What's up, dude?
It's your neighbor. Heard you say one thing today about the, I don't know, were you talking about France or who were you talking about that? Israel, that they still have universal health care. Have you ever been in a place with universal health care?
No.
Okay. I spent the last 2 years in Germany, and I think it's one of those. I think Americans look at it as it's this great thing where we're not going to have to pay for it, and it's provided to everyone. In Germany, yes, they have universal health care, but they also have privatized health care. And so I had to go to the ER. I had just an eye issue, doesn't matter. But I watched this huge room, the waiting room, sit there and wait because if you don't have to pay for it, you'll go to the doctor if you stub your toe. And so there was this huge waiting room of people just waiting. But since I had insurance, I just walked by all of them.
Yeah.
So when you say universal health care, if you wanted that stateside, would you eliminate all insurance? Because then you're going to in my opinion, you're going to separate it more, because those who are wealthy and would then pay for their private insurance will even get more benefits than they currently get now, because they'll always be seen first. It will basically just cause a bigger divide anyway. What is your thought process on how universal health care could actually work here?
First of all, I want to address what you said about waiting time. So right now, down the street, the waiting time for emergency health care is 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
same thing. And in fact, if you just talk about me, my wait time's been like 12 years. I haven't been to the doctor to do shit like in 12 years. I haven't had health insurance. I've been self-employed. I've skipped out on it. It just like, even if I do get it, we have $6,000, $12,000, $15,000 deductibles. It is absolutely absurd. I think that I think that preventative care will do a lot of the work in saving money in the long run, and also creating longer life expectancies. So our neighbors just north of us, their average life expectancy is 4 years longer, just because they have universal health care. And for instance, I had a friend in Canada that he had I believe it was malignant, but it was dangerous, a tumor in his brain. And he had some sort of operation where they had to like laser it out. And it would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably went in debt for the rest of his life because of that. Instead, he got it in 2 months. He got it 2 months. He got it fucking lasered out of his head. He has no insurance, nothing. That would never happen here. There are people that go into crippling debt, probably unalive themselves because of it. Because of that.
Isn't it like is it the second reason for bankruptcy? Is medical debt?
Yes.
If not the first. Yeah. If not the first.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that I would prefer that. I would prefer waiting it along. I feel that itself is a deterrent to not to just go because you stubbed your toe. I think that itself is just fine. And if we were to subsidize it like we subsidize the military industry or whatever, the industrial military complex, we would see healthcare blow up in this country. We would see, like, if we're in the forefront of making bombs because we subsidize it with federal money, why wouldn't we do that with medical healthcare? Like, everybody and their money would go and say, hey, where's all my federal money for being a healthcare provider? And there would be tons of people running towards it instead of this weird worry that this would disincentivize people from becoming a doctor because, you would be limited on how much you make. That's not true. If you're a smart business person and you had infinite money glitch on treating people with stubbed toes, I would be the richest doctor on earth because I would know how to scale that. I would know how to scale that and make as much money as possible on that.
And you would take all of the stubbed toes and specialize in that.
Sure.
Okay. Because I am one who hates, and go to the doctor, get your blood work done, especially with all the shit you take. Unfortunately, I'm a little older than you, where I have some prescriptions I have to take. And I think prescriptions are ridiculous. And what is it? 10 years, they all hit generic. So you no longer have to pay for basically any drug. I think it's a 10-year, they have their patent, but then it can be produced generically. So that's why insurance will always pay for your generics first, because it's a whole lot less money. But yes, I completely, I'm big on capitalism, but at the same time, when the medical superpowers are making, what they say, with OxyContin, they made 15 billion, but got sued for 3. So they still made $12 billion last year or whatever. That's an entirely different piece about the World War III that you guys say is going to start. I think it's already started with the fentanyl coming from China through Mexico to kill United States citizens.
If you don't mind,
that's
code words, TikTok safe words.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's my only tangent on that. The other thing was I was listening to a positive speaker this morning, and he was talking about how everybody loves diversity. And I know your fan base doesn't like this, but yes, I am a Christian, and I think everyone is a child of God. I don't care what color you are. I don't care your sexual orientation. I don't care about any of that. However, the one thing that the United States really struggles with is diversity of thought. And I wanted your input. I've been pretty quiet today, but some days your chat absolutely hates me, which is fine. That's their right to do that. But do you think, and especially since you use the word debate, and I know you do, Parker does, Johnny does, you're the only one I can even stand for more than 3 seconds. And that's why I listen to you. But when you have the word debate, which it is, it's, if it were a conversation, or I guess debate leads to where you have a winner. To where you are trying to win a debate versus the other person is trying to prove you wrong. And, you'll have the people who try to get gotcha points or whatever. And, I see how that makes you feel better. But in the bigger picture, do you think just continually debating versus having conversations is productive for society in the long
I
run?
think it's fair for you to point out that conversations are more productive, and I feel like that's kind of what I bring to these. It's not like somebody earlier was trying to test my knowledge on like what parts of the human brain bring sentience, and then I said, well, let me look it up and I can tell you. And they were upset that I didn't know this off the top of my head, and I think that's irrelevant. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for testing people's pop quizzes and getting gotchas and clipping them. I really do want to get down to like what matters and what the truth is. And like just my guest a few guests ago asked if he can go look for something to back his to back his case. Like, hey, what deregulations would you be in favor of bringing forward?
I was on for that.
And I very fairly I said, yeah, go find one. And so like I feel like it really is more of a conversation than it is just straight up debate and sparring with people and taking off the gloves.
Right. I mean, because I've always been very respectful to you, and you've always been very respectful to me. But right now, if you read the chat, everything is that I'm a fucking idiot, that MAGA has no opinions worth hearing, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. Dude. I think that also shows some of the intolerance on your side, which is fair. And like you said, don't read the chat. I get it.
This is my YouTube chat. Literally 90%, they hate me. They fucking hate me. They say the meanest shit all day. It's the same thing.
Oh, because your TikTok's the other way. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Because your TikTok is a very pro you audience.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I've never watched you on YouTube. I didn't know it was the other direction.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just kind of getting your take on the diversity thing because, like I said, I think we're all good people, but yes, something has to change for the world to get better.
For sure.
That's why we continue to fight the good fight. And on that note, I'll see you next week, Pickles.
All right, bro. Take it easy. And yeah, it's just because my TikTok, my following on TikTok is a lot of liberals, and YouTube, I have tons of people. They fucking hate, they're hate watchers. I have people that are here day in and day out for hours. They hate me. So I don't know. I think TikTok algorithm is more fine-tuned to what you're really interested in, or I don't know. I don't know really how it works. But it's okay. I'm all about it. I love the fact that people hate watch me. People hate watch me on YouTube. I love it. Michelle, thank you so much for the $25. Hope you're having a good day. I know you're tired, but you're still looking dapper. Thank you. Y'all stop it. And Yadira, thanks again for the $25. Keep smashing those megas. You're super smart and handsome. Stop it, guys. Stop it. Chaos Pixie, thank you for the sub. Drop your number on YouTube, coward. You guys are... Y'all need a cold shower. Yellow.
Hey, Pickles, how are you?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, sorry, I'm not. No, and I know you want friendlies, but I just have to say something. I listen to, I enjoy your listen or speak, but every time something is said, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like the last guy said, and he agreed. I love capitalism. Capitalism is what's ruining your country. Like you need more socialism in your country if you want any of your citizens to get better. But there is such a propaganda against socialism in your country that even to mention the word, you're like, oh, go away, you're a communist, get away, get away, get away. Like I don't know. Like really and truly, the only time your country has ever been united recently was when Luigi, you're the CEO. Like, and that proves the point that you've got a mass divide in your country. You've got the poor working class like us, and you've got your 1%, and they run your country, and everyone is there arguing politics about culture wars. It's sorry, random.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I
But
don't know if
it's
you say that, but
I know there's nothing, but like I remember I was listening to you a couple months back, and it was mentioned that you were agreeing that you love capitalism, but then you says, well, that being said, I haven't really looked into socialism that much, right? And I remember thinking, oh, I actually hope he does. I don't know if you have.
I
Like,
don't.
it's not the boogeyman. Like, it's by its name and definition alone, it's social. It's like it's the collective. Like capitalism, all it does is it prioritizes capital, property
I
over people.
I'm all for a mixture. Like straight up
Well,
socialism
well,
might not be ideal. So yeah, I agree. Like adding some forms of like worker cooperatives, people owning the means of production, but not everywhere. Like we could have some companies where the workers own the means and vote for the actions that the companies take.
well,
I'm for that.
basically,
I'm for
yeah,
social
I've been
safety
actually doing a
nets.
lot of reading up. Yeah, I've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of reading on looking at China lately, like, and my eyes have been opened in the last 6 months, if I'm being honest. Like, like everyone, you're always saying, oh, they're the boogeyman. Like, but man, everyone over there seems happy. They're like 96% home ownership rate. I'm, I think America has probably got the highest homeless rate of any developed nation. Like,
Yeah, China has almost none.
it's really sad. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like America is super capitalist. Like it came from England. That's where it all originated. Like obviously I'm Irish. They are the root of all evil in my eyes. But like they came and they changed our country. Like we are a capitalist country, but there is socialism in our country. Like our most far right, not far right, that's the wrong term. Like, but our most right leaning party in our country would be considered far left in America.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I mean, your center point is so far to the right, it's crazy. Like Democrats, a Democrat in our country would be a right-leaning party. Would be Republicans in your party.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
you
And
don't have
it's because we have a two
workers'
party
representation.
system, so we have to be very moderate. We have to appeal to the middle a lot, and that tug of war has led us a little further
It's
right than
dreadful,
we
but see that's the
should be.
point. You've allowed to have your middle so far to the right,
Yeah.
like Jesus Christ. Even the bare minimum, like people are saying, "Oh, you far left extremist." It's crazy.
Yeah,
And
I know.
like I'm a bleeding heart liberal in my country, we are not far left, but by all accounts to the rest of the world, we're like the most super left country in the world. We're not. Like I'd love us to be more far left, as in like with more social policies as opposed to like our government have run rampant, like not run rampant. We have the same kind of problem. If we're being totally honest, we have the same problem. Like we've got Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, right? They have been in opposition since the quote unquote Free State, and they've been opposition. But essentially, then in the last couple of years, we've had Sinn Féin come in, who are a real workers' party. Like they're the Republican Party of Ireland, not your Republican, our Republican, and they come in and what do the two parties do? They essentially join a coalition together, right? So basically, this says, yeah, even though the other party had more votes than the other two other parties, they joined together and joined their votes. So it's two parties just running the system as it is. But as I says, our center point would be a lot more left than America's center point. I do love your AOC. I think people people like her are what what you need in this country. Like, she was a person who was an actual worker. Like,
Mhm.
she tended bar, didn't she? Like, that's who you should be elected, not fucking your man, the Republican. Basically, all your Republican and Democrats, they're lifelong in it. They're in it to enrich themselves. They all forget that it's public service. That's what you're doing. It's a public job. You're there to serve the public, not to enrichment.
Agreed. But hey, I don't want to
Look,
keep friendlies up for too long. But I
that's you.
love your accent.
Oh,
And
can I actually know? Can I just make one more point?
sure.
Which, I do. You know, I do be flicking through TikTok a lot. You've got a blondie guy, Dean and Parker,
Yeah.
to do these like yourself, but not as bad. You know, they're making this into a fucking competition between them versus us, like. So, and then, you know, some, like, you don't want them versus us. You want to bloody educate them to start thinking a bit more smartly and making better decisions, rather than just because I see the blondie guy, like, someone gets something wrong, like, he'll start laughing and whatever. Fair enough. Like, look, they're probably not
Yeah.
that educated, but like, making it into a sport, them versus us. Like, did you see guys coming on here and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
they're saying is you guys, you
They're
guys,
in it
you
for
guys.
the blood sport. Yeah. I
And for
agree.
God's sake,
Yeah.
none of them are billionaires, so none of it. Like, you were going on about forestry. Some guy was talking, like, how the hell does that benefit his life? About the forestry being deregulated. If anything, it makes his life worse because it'll or disimprove your air quality because there's less trees. But he's there going on saying, "Oh yeah, deregulate." Deregulation of forestry will not improve his life any bit. Like, so. Look, I'll let you get back to your Trumpy guys, and I enjoyed the show. Keep
All
it
right,
up.
bub. Thank you.
You might drop me there. I'm not sure how to do that.
I got you. Bum 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 bum. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I know, guys. The friendlies, I love yous. We're losing steam here on the algo. I've seen some of y'all in chat, and I can kind of guess who's a friendly. I do love a good accent. The blondie boy. Dean's a good guy. I've met him in real life. He's a good guy. So's Parker. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And you can't hate them. They're living the dream, doing what they love for a living, and they're making a good living. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, they're very smart. Guys, I'm losing steam mentally as well. I'm losing steam mentally. Might need a little break here soon. We're at 3 hours. I might do friendlies for a sec. Hello?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, got a fun one for you real quick, and then you could kick me.
Okay.
So 1325 says the first time crossing is a civil penalty of up to $250, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just found out about a new bill that was passed in Nevada recently, which I live in Nevada. I live in Vegas.
Mhm.
But there's a new bill. It's AB 194, and it is makes it unlawful to release a balloon that's filled with any gas that's lighter than air, aka helium,
Yeah.
into the air, right outside. And guess what? Comes with a civil penalty of up to $250.
It's the yeah,
Crazy,
we can
right?
that's a great I might steal that. I might use that.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know about that just in case you wanted to zing somebody with it.
Love that. Well, yeah.
All right.
Hey, if you
Love you,
release a
bro.
helium balloon, love you back. If you release a helium balloon, straight to jail, rest of your life, chat.
That's
Oh, he was speaking. Anyway, love you. Thank you. There's a few more friendlies. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this into friendly hour. I'm gonna turn it to subscription only mode. That means if you have a paid subscription on TikTok, you can chat, and if you don't, you can't chat. You're also welcome to come up and say hi. If you have something to say, I welcome you up, especially if your name's Dolphin or Fee.
How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm okay. I've had my Chinese family here for the past month or so. Our host daughter graduated from Columbia University, so there was a lot of drama around that graduation as well. But it's been an interesting time hearing what they're saying about our country supposedly for all human rights. So it's been a challenging time to watch what's going on with them.
I
I'm
forgot
not
that
gonna
you
lie.
have all of those. You told me
7
about
girls.
that. That is insane.
Yep.
That is
7
so
girls,
cool.
6 countries. Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. I mean, we have kids that are going all the way to their master's programs and getting their MDs for free. It's part of their schooling. Actually, all of the kids qualify for that. So it's just a different system. But as someone politely said, you know, we've watched the United States like promote human rights for how long, only to watch what's happening with your own immigrants. And it's crazy. So, I just wanted to kind of give you the input that, you know, China has their own issues. They don't want to go to war with the United States. If you look at them historically, they've never been imperialistic. And
Yeah.
they've always thought that Taiwan was theirs. Now, is there a danger to the United States if they take over Taiwan because of the chips business? Yes. But other than that, they've never wanted anything but to control their borders, their waters. And I'm going to stay neutral on Taiwan. So I'll pause and listen to what everyone else has to say, but I'll come up and chat with you another time because I disagree with you about the two-party system, but
Okay,
maybe one day.
I would love to.
debate.
Yeah, sometime you can tell me about that.
Okay. So
Well,
I'll
thank
mute
you.
up.
Well,
No,
much love,
oh,
Fee.
you know I love you. You know I think
I love you
you're
back.
really great. You're not at all. You're confrontational when people try to do bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just not good. And finally, I love watching you game. It relaxes me because I
Thank you.
can't do it.
That means a lot.
It
too.
really relaxes me when I watch you like later at night. So
That
okay.
makes me feel good. I love that.
Pickles,
What's up?
how you doing, boss?
Doing good.
Hey, awesome. Hey, how about some tacos and some tequila shots around here? How about that?
I don't drink, but I'm all about tacos.
Oh, there we go. All right.
I'll eat the shit out of some tacos.
Yeah, I know. They're delicious, boys. Hey, you're welcome, man. But there's people that is banned to eat tacos. Especially, well, actually, in general, my Mexican food, it's not. You guys are no more welcome anymore. You guys, you know who I'm talking about, right? It's just a friendly reminder.
That's right.
It's just a friendly reminder, right? Diarrhea with hiccups if you dare to eat tacos and you're MAGA. Huh?
MAGA? No, you hands off. That's right. That should be. I would organize a protest for that. I would organize that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, I just want to say hi to you and keep up, buddy. We support you.
Appreciate
know.
you.
You know.
Thank you.
All right. Later, boss.
All right.
Pickles.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Dolphin. I was watching your stream. I think last night a little bit.
Oh yeah. Cool beans.
Always
Welcome
makes me
in.
feel good.
Pickles was dancing.
Yeah, I put it down and yeah, never on camera, but sometimes I just let loose. I foot loose it.
Hey, I'll play it if you're in there. I do play it. I play that song too. Sorry. I'm having too much fun. I just wanted to come up and see how you're doing and tell you how much I love those buttermilk biscuits.
Hey, you stop it. You stop that.
I won't. See, that day, I never even got to see the short shorts. You never showed them. I was so upset.
I'm sorry. You guys are just trying to see my yeah, you're just
Buttermilk
trying
biscuits.
you're trying to see my buttermilk. You're trying to see my legs. These beautiful legs I got. Y'all just need a cold shower.
No, thank you.
Oh, he did. Oh, see, I missed it. Dang it. Right. Anyways, I've been waiting to come on live all day, but I got the water heater guy here. He's been here for like the last 4 hours.
Uh-oh. Did they get you fixed up?
Yeah, the gas thingy broke. The thing for the sensor to the temperature of the water.
Oh, okay.
So the water's been like
The
coolish
TPS?
warm. What?
The TPS?
Yeah, it was broken, so he's reinstalling it.
Oh,
A new
I'm
one.
glad they're
Sorry,
fixing you
not
up.
in that one. Yeah.
Refrigerator?
Yeah.
Get your refrigerator fixed, Pickles?
Yeah, it hasn't eaten it hasn't it's been okay since I had the downtime. It's been okay since. I might eventually have to like put it on something to make it level, but I think it's fine for now.
You're a landlord's dream.
I know. Well, yes and no. I don't pay for electricity. It's included, and I don't think he knew what tree he was barking up when he allowed me to do that, because my apartment is a fucking light show. There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
going on in here.
Well, you got the better deals.
Yeah. Not to mention the
Make
streaming.
sure
Yeah.
you warn people. If you ever get a girlfriend, just do me a favor. Always find out if she was born with epileptic seizures like me. God
Yeah.
forbid she sees the light show and just goes into one.
I'll just make my profile picture flashing lights, and that'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say that all is. Oh Lord.
I'm epileptic.
I don't think you need to advertise, Pickles. You have enough of them after you already.
Yeah.
I'm epileptic too. I was born with epileptic seizures.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I was.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mock. But
Oh no, I'm fine. I've flopped on the floor. I literally I used to be able to say I've never broken a bone in my body, but when I tried to hurry up and get to the lazy boy before I collapsed to the ground, I didn't make it, and I broke 2 of my toes on my good leg.
oh my god. I had a good friend growing up when I was like 16, 17. We had a friend that he would have 6 seizures a day, like 6 insane seizures a day. But
He had grandma.
he would be the person who bought us booze while we were underage. So I remember going to a convenience store, and I would like kind of go in and like pick out what I wanted. He'd go up to the counter. I remember one time they're like, let me see your ID. And they like turned around to grab his cigarettes, and they turned back around, and he wasn't there because he was having a seizure on the floor. I don't know. But yeah, lots of crazy. I remember one time he was having a seizure, and I was driving down a dirt road, and he fucking pulled the steering wheel. Insane. Yeah, lots of crazy memories.
Oh, dear God. How did you get him to release his hand from the steering wheel?
I pulled over. I slammed the brakes, pulled over.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But yeah. Rest in peace. He's not with us anymore.
I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry.
Cheshire
Did
Cat.
you look at my videos, Pickles?
I did. I need to talk to you about those. I did.
Okay.
I need
Is
to
that
talk to
good
you
or
about
bad?
those. I need to give you some like formats of videos for you to try to like copy. You have a bunch of videos where it's kind of like faint talking in the background. You're not sure like what it's about. There's nothing that kind of hooks you and keeps you there. Like what am I listening for kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe I can kind of give you like a video for you to try to like copycat and like do your own version, like a template.
Yeah, I don't know about the tricks yet.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that.
Okay. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Cheshire, are you there?
I am, yes. Hello.
Hello. Are you friendly?
Hello. I am from Portugal, Pickles. I am here to answer to Sir Fight a Good Fight about universal health care. I'm very sorry. There was not a red carpet for him to go to our emergency rooms. I'm terribly sorry. But normally people are sick and they do wait for their turn. And universal healthcare doesn't just mean that. It means when I go to the drugstore, I pay, for example, I'm an asthmatic, I pay €3, which is $3.50, for example, for you guys. And you pay like $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I went to the doctor. I ran my you know what a mandolin slicer is, where you do this and it would, cut a potato or something.
Yes.
I ran my
Yes,
thumb through a mandolin slicer and cut off a good chunk of it. And went to the ER and waited an hour. Finally got through, and they basically gave me, it was a neon green Band-Aid and like antibiotic ointment in like the single use package, and that's it. That's what they gave me. They sent me a bill for $584. Never paid
That's
it.
wonderful. Oh, congratulations.
Well,
You did the right, you had the right choice.
I love how we congratulate, how we don't pay our bills. Love it.
And I'm sorry for the accent.
and the accent's wonderful, honestly. Is this what I'm sorry to be offensive, but is this a Portugal accent, or is that where you're originally from?
I am originally from Portugal, but I lived in London. Yes.
Okay. That's wonderful. You could literally read books for a living.
Thank you so much. It's just it. I don't want to bother you anymore.
No, that's fine. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I agree. And that's I always love hearing people's personal experiences from countries that have it. Nobody complains about the taxes they have to pay for it. Nobody goes, damn it, if I only had 10% more or whatever it is, my life would be fixed, and I would rather live the remainder of my life risking it, that I'm gambling, that I could have paid just a little bit less if I just paid my own medical bills. I don't think anybody feels that way.
I will tell you this. I pay a lot of taxes. I do pay. But they go for roads, they go for schools, they go for hospitals, they go for health for other people, for immigrants, and for even Americans who fortunately go to our beaches and just fell asleep under the sun and get a burn and go to our yard.
Whoa.
See? And they don't pay anything.
That's so even if you're not a citizen, you get the whole.
You may go there, you don't pay anything, yes.
Insane. Wow.
I love her accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. And I love to hear you. I learn every day. I love geopolitics, so America for me is always a mystery. I could talk to you about NATO, but I won't bother you. I'm still hanging around in my head with
Okay.
Articles 4 and 5. Okay?
Well, thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We might have someone else in the box. Art Vandalay. You know those two brothers that came in here the other day? I saw one of them in chat. Are they with us today? Are y'all with us? I'm sorry, the father, son, I mean. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Are you friendly?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I'm a Trump supporter.
Oh, okay. I'm yes, the Dudleys. I'm not doing debates anymore for this stream. I'll be back on later tonight if you want to stop back by. All right.
No, I saw the live and I just wanted to see what was going on. Say hi to everyone.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see what was up.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're winding down and just hanging out. Yeah, we're just hanging. Chat. If you're a friendly and you want to come up and say hi, just come hang out. You're welcome to. But I love your profile picture, George Costanza, goated with the sauce.
Yeah, that's a you know, George Costanza is one of the greatest characters in that show, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's almost
I
he was
deserve that
almost
mention.
it like you almost couldn't see him in any other show or movie because he just did so well in that show. He'll always be George
Yeah,
Costanza.
he certainly was. Yeah. You know what's funny is so I've been using this that handle and that pick. Somebody told me recently, they were like, you know, I really love Seinfeld, but I really think that Jerry was kind of like the least important person on the show. And I started thinking about that and I was like, yeah, you know, all the zany stuff always seemed to happen to like the other members of the cast, and Jerry was just kind of like there observing it all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. He had the least amount of character. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Jerry was the glue. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. What's up, Queen?
Hey, I just wanted to come up and tell you how amazing you are and how I love watching you because you fact check everything, even if you're
Thank you.
wrong.
Thank
And
you.
that means a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll own it if I misspeak. I think it's important to do.
Yeah. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to tell you you're amazing and you're the best teacher ever. And keep up the good work. I love
will.
watching you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel loved.
You can talk.
Okay. I feel loved. Thank you, chat.
You always love pickles.
I appreciate that. He's blushing.
You make our day much brighter.
Pickles is the best.
Lauren says, I hate Seinfeld, most annoying show ever. No. No, Lauren. I don't know. What should we do, y'all? It is Friday. I may or may not skip the second debate stream and go straight to gaming. Is anybody down to watch me play Last of Us 2? I started the show. I started the second season last night, and I almost need it.
Ooh, sounds fun. Do it.
Need it. Have you watched the show?
Yes, I did.
Did.
Yes.
You should come. You should come watch the game. We're gonna be playing it. I'm gonna be playing it.
Okay,
It's so
I'll
good.
take a peek.
Yeah, you
I'll
don't have to
take a
stay.
peek.
The movie
Give it a
or the
try.
game, Pickle?
Huh?
Okay.
The movie or the
It's not
game?
my style, but wonderful.
The game. I'm gonna be gaming it.
Yes.
What happened to Dune?
Sorry.
Dune. Something about me. I am very impulsive, and for some reason that game is like a hot stove to me. I don't want to play it right now. I don't want to touch it. I don't know why.
That's what happens when you get good at something.
Maybe. What am I streaming on? I'm streaming it on my alt account, y'all. Dark_pickles. And the link is in my link tree. As finale proved, deplorable character. It's very bad man. Very, very bad man. So true. Go play your video games and you're... Oh my goodness. You're not going to thank my sub? Thank you for subbing, Coach. Guys, if you actually became a member on YouTube and I missed it, I am sorry. Secret Level Space Marines episode. More Secret Level Space Marines episode. Oh, for sure, Brandon. I got you. All right. Yeah, I'm going to heat up some... I guess it's dinner. I'm going to go heat up some dinner, and then we're gonna let hair down. We're gonna game a little bit, chat. I love you. I will see y'all in just a little bit.
Sounds fun, Pickles. See you then.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's
Have
curry.
fun.
Yeah, will do. Thank you, Cheshire. It is curry time. Gracie, I see you in the box. I'm sorry. I'm jumping off, guys. I'm jumping off. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip the switch on my alt account and heat up dinner, and I'll pretty much just do a seamless transition to that account. So I'll see y'all there. Much love, chat.